let me get all my things set up. Both these mid laners been doing really well this season. If you didn't see the graphic at the beginning, I want to just wait for the last pick and then I'll talk about it. Okay, so Nautilus. Okay, that's a bit different. A lot of times we're seeing other stuff blinded like Leona and things like that, but on the counter pick, maybe Nautilus is a little bit more preferred. So Ambessa and Rumble gone, Shen gone as well. Strange 1, 2, 3. I don't know if Kingan's particularly known for the Shen. And even with all these bans, they don't go for Cassante first pick. It's still Elise. So I was expecting with these bans, you go Cassante first pick, and then you have all these 3 top bans. Kalissa's gone, Zyra's gone, Skarner's gone. But maybe they have something special into Cassante, and Nongshing don't pick it. So you get Cassante and you get the Elise. Elise blind pick, first pick, for sure support. What a world. Morning. The hens play Shen support. Okay. So the Shen is... I don't know. Is it good into Elise? I guess does your dodge thing block the like Shen W? Does it block Elise Q? Maybe. Because is it an attack modifier or not? Because if it does, then that's a really insane counter actually. Because also you get the taunt, and also like the spider form Q. I mean, because it's a bite. I don't know if it counts as an auto attack. And if you can then block it with the Shen W, then if your AD carry gets cocooned, he's still not going to get one shot. That's actually really nice. I like that. I don't know if you played it into Elise or not. I'll check that interaction and talk to Eric about it. Because if we flex the Shen, that'll be quite fun. Okay, so instant dive comp, flexible with Aurora as well, can go to either side lane. As soon as it's the Cassante, they do just decide to send the Aurora top, so I'm assuming a lane swap already from the side of DRX. Yone with Xayah. Okay, Xayah is the good like anti-dive AD, so against like Vi, Aurora, Yone, Xayah is going to have a huge amount of value, and then Azir just safe mid lane pick. And they do end up going Varus. So Ezreal, we talked about this before. Like you can either take an AD carry like Kai'Sa, who can follow up on the dive and be an extra diver, but obviously Kai'Sa's banned. Ziggs can also follow up on the dive, just throwing the ult in from long range. Although with Yone being split damage and Aurora being AP, I think Ziggs is maybe not the best. The other thing is you take someone like Ezreal who can just sort of play by themselves. So he's not a dive champ, but he's a self-sufficient AD carry. Then Varus Akali. Akali is the answer to Yone. I've seen that quite a lot. And Nautilus last pick into the Elise. So I still expect a lane swap from the side of DRX, just because Aurora in the swap, if you put her behind, or if she doesn't get put behind, I guess I should say, that's always going to be better. We'll see what they go for. I'm just going to Google this thing. Shen W versus Elise Spider Form Q. Will anything come up? Only really good for AP champ or full Zhonya's, which is again expensive, and not every champion is able to do it. So a lot of power here, I feel, between those two picks and shut them down. I think Nongshim can happy with what they got, especially considering they're on red side. Yeah, absolutely. I think that Nongshim kind of head in this draft from what we can see. I think that generally as well, if you've got a lot of okay, it doesn't block the Q, it blocks the W. Obviously in spider form and the spiderlings. Just to do damage with the composition of DRX. So certainly the difficulty curve is much higher on that side. But guys, we are ready for game number 1 on top of the rankings. Okay. Not quite so hidden OP counter, but still. Here we go, game number 1. As you know, we talked about trying to make good compositions as it gets later. Both first round, okay. Thanks for looking up. So, how do we feel about this going forward? Nongshing, come together, get the invade. They've got the strong level 1. Elise has the stun level 1, but that's it. And it is going to be the swap from side of DRX. They just full call the swap. Because even though Varus, like, okay, so Nautilus is stronger level 1 than Elise. Ezreal, if he stacks the Qs, can be strong, but Varus is also stronger. But the main thing is this top lane matchup. This way you get a non-denied a non-denied Aurora, which is really, really big. You can't let Aurora just get swapped on.
In this game, I would imagine he's going to be looking to shoot from far range and do as much poke damage as possible, and then, as we mentioned, fall over and die.
I think if you're in range auto attack, you're too close. You know, there'll be a brief moment where you can put one auto into someone, and then you're dead. That feels like
so now King it like, and this is also worse for
it is the bars, right? I mean, there is true shot barrage. Should note that. I think Ezreal wins there, but
the Cassante,
should be taste, so at least he's got that.
because the bot lane tower doesn't have any extra resist. So if you've got a ranged person who can just be hitting away at your tower, she's going to take bottom plates much quicker than she would take top plates. So actually correctly calling this swap ends up in a better situation than just playing equal lanes versus the opponent.
And you can tell by her mana cost. Mana's not really an issue in the jungle because you get so much mana regen from like a jungle item. But if you spam your abilities in lane for poke, you just go so quickly. You can see it happen in the LCK sometimes. People less experienced than the elites just running out of mana really quickly. So you don't have that poke pressure. And you definitely got to wait level 3 as well. Level 3 a big spike. But for now, they are pushing them in, but Lehens and View is still quite healthy.
And you know he's really good on Elise.
So Elise still now just got 3.
Potentially 5 games. So I feel like that's another reason to go for that first pick Elise. Just deny it from somebody who has so much experience on the pick.
Yeah, we've seen the bot lane. This is one of the issues.
Yeah, they're talking about the like denying a pick. I think as long as you can work with it, it's okay. But I don't think everyone's talking about these things of like, oh, taking away everyone's champions and all this kind of thing. I think that's kind of nonsense. I don't think that will actually happen. I think it could, but it's a very weird idea. Like, you think someone's so strong on their champion that they're going to definitely win with it, and so you take it away and you lose with it. Like, that's the same as them winning with it, you know? Okay, so roam time is a mid lane. That, as you've now removed the first blood, like, this is actually really good situation for DRX.
I think Fisher's pretty happy with that, if I'm going to be honest. The starting obviously just been TP, so he's not going to get back that quickly.
So he's going to burn flash and TP. Yukal's not going to burn flash.
They don't even get like the initial feat of strength. I think Fisher pretty happy overall. He's down a farm though. You can see what he tries to do here. Is he tries to bait out the cocoon and
I think like this is always worth trading as Elise, because you trade flashes, you trade kills.
No way to get out again.
Like Elise with a kill is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, and now Yone has no flash. About to be 6 on Akali. That's a tragedy. So they want to play for the grubs, and he clears away the mid lane, and they think that it's just like, okay, we clear grubs, now I run to here, and Xin and Elise are right here, so I'm safe. Like, if you look at it from their vision, how would you not feel safe here? But surprise! 3 people waiting in the bush to just one-shot you. So it's nice. Nice from non-string.
Yeah, Xante now has a negative cloak. That helps. Yeah, I think the setup that play was
nice little trick.
They found like a pop division. And I think the most dangerous time is when you think you have.
And then they full swap to mid.
He specs something up, you can see from his movement, but you know, his team are in the river, he's in his lane, there's only this one small pocket division they don't have. It's beautifully set up by Nongshim to find the pick. Allows him to get the 2 grubs, allows Fisher to pull ahead a little bit in that matchup, and just a really heads up play where you initially saw DRX getting some strength.
Yeah, bit of back and forth already between these two teams. We did expect this series to be a bit of a bloodbath. Certainly it is one of the series where all of us have come in today and have had different opinions on who we think is favored, who we think is going to win. I personally went for DRX, who were thinking Nongshim. We don't have official predictions for this one until playoffs, I believe, but other people saying DRX, other people saying Nongshim, so definitely could go either way. Yeah. That was kind of unfortunate flash from Lehens, but who we think is going to win. I personally went for DRX, who were thinking Nongshim. We don't have official predictions for this one.
Yeah, so if Lehens gets hit by this, he has to flash this. Yes, it hits Ezreal, but like he has to flash this. If Ezreal gets hit, he cleanses. If Lehens gets hit, he dies.
But I mean, G obviously has cleanse, so he's able to get away from it. If we didn't have cleanse, that'd be a very different conversation, I think, between G and Lehens on the back of that one.
No. Better than Ju using his flash, I guess, but certainly not the best situation. Yeah, and he's also Ezreal, so he's got Arcane Shift.
So they push up mid, and they invade. They just come together. Nautilus Vi, really, really strong to just one-tap someone. Vi with a lead as well. Yone's coming in. Ezreal's not here, but he can get here fairly quick. Nice. Okay, so just grouping up and invading. And again, invading with Prior means you take away the blue and then the fight happens as well.
They commit so much onto the jungle support, which isn't typically how you go for. They just delete him from the fight, but Gio, Arcane Shift's in here for no real benefit, honestly. He's not going to kill Teddy, he just exposes himself to Yukal. Just save his flash.
Yukal does get a kill on the back end though, so
a little bit out of sync with the rest of the team, I feel.
Not completely
they knew what their goal was and they got it done.
Like free trade.
For Nongshim, as you mentioned, they're enjoying about 1,500 gold in the lead. And they're looking for that second set of grubs here in just a moment. Yep. 5 grubs, especially when we've got the Aurora, the Yone to potentially be nice.
5 grubs with these, yeah, exactly. Like they're saying on the cast, both these side lanes gonna love having the grubs. So these next grubs are going to be really, really important. I think even trading it for a dragon is never a good idea for the side of DRX. You have to go for the fight here.
Yeah, basically a strength picked up by
You got Varus flashback. You've got no flash on Lahens.
More, as you said, the Grubs would be able to get them one thing
And
going.
no flash on Yukal though.
So they did get a little bit of chip damage in the
Both
earlier on.
everyone's ults coming back.
Yeah, for now, Gideon just going to start this up, but they're very aware of the imminent threat of DRX.
So the problem is that Yone is just constantly getting pushed in top side.
Or just about to come up.
They just died too fast, you know?
So they're going to just get 2 already.
He's not going to be able to. They have to turn the hands. In a bit of trouble, takes up quite a lot, and actually still alive for so long. And the Yone.
Yeah, so
Still, a lot of flashes available.
because they just have push in top and like Ezreal's safe to just
And now
let
Sponge's gonna go in.
let
Lahens
Ezreal
trying to
safe in
hold
mid.
away. He's not gonna be able to. They have to turn the Lahens. In a bit of trouble.
Lahens gets the ult down.
Quite a lot, and actually
Nice
still
Varus
alive
ult
for
spreading,
so
but then this Yone
long. Disabled to
Aurora
turn it up.
combo
Very out of
coming in
position
to just
after
clean
that.
up, and they're going to get all 3 as well.
Couldn't kill Lahens.
And a fight.
And finally they do, but it is absolutely not worth it. Gnome win another big fight, and now Fisher, 4 kills. Feeling pretty good about his situation in this game.
I think DRX was just too tunnel vision on the Nautilus, and like, look, we'll just get him, get out. That's all we need to do. And the more invested they became, the more dire it started to seem in that situation. Lahens, you know, playing Nautilus is not about KDA, and he is definitely happy with the outcome of that fight. There's a decent intro from Sponge at the start, but it is backfired massively now. 2,000 gold lead. You see again, so Sponge gets the intro.
Now it's massive. 2,000 gold lead and 5 grubs already. Like this is already a really big deal.
Is what saves him, and that ult from Gideon.
Yeah.
And yes, he goes down, but those 2 factors, I think, really baited in.
And I think Nongxin just have a like much easier to execute similar comp. You know, both teams want to dive on someone.
Yukal has been phenomenal for this DRX lineup, but right now he's 1-3 into the Yone form.
But
I'm not blaming him for it.
Kasante, while he's massive, it's not quite Vi, you know? Vi and Nautilus just both are someone.
Akali playing into heaps of CC as well. I mean, we touched on this in the draft. You know,
We don't have any scrims today.
Disrupt a lot of the Akali gameplay. The slipperiness, the Varus we talked about as well. Teddy will do damage and then die. So Gnome from ahead are feeling
We have
very
scrims
if they were able to
Tuesday and
edge,
Wednesday
you know, Kasante unkillable,
before our
or
competitive
something,
game on
but
Thursday.
It's feeling a little bit unfortunate at this
So
point.
it's just this for me today, and then
13 minutes into the game, first dragon is
I'll stop. They should be the other guys should be streaming
Yeah, usually Ocean a pretty nice pickup as an early dragon because it just staying in lane.
in the afternoon, just solo queue and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, teams not really leaning towards that as of yet. It feels like we've had
Oh, I
more
need to
flexibility
join
on
the-
We started to see, especially I feel like with the feature strength seeming less and less valuable. You know, at first everyone's like, oh, we have to fight every grub. It seems like teams have moved a bit more to like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. We can take dragon, you can take grubs, we'll trade off.
Yukal going in here. He doesn't know about the Nautilus. Now he knows. So the hook is going to miss. Yukal not to be disrupted. He continues to go in. There's the ult going to hit both of them. Lahens easily able to peel for Fisher, who did have to flash, but still going to mean that Fisher gets away. And Sponges, man, I hope he's not tilted after that last play, but he's absolutely Yukal not to be disrupted. He can.
How does he live here?
Seeming less and less valuable. You know, at first everyone's like, oh, we have to fight every grub. It seems like teams have moved a bit more to like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. We can take dragon, you can take grubs, we'll trade off.
Yukal going in here. He doesn't know about the Nautilus. Now he knows. So the hook is going to miss. Yukal not to be disrupted. He continues to go in. There's the ult going to hit both of them. Lahens easily able to peel for Fisher, who did have to flash, but still going to mean that Fisher gets away. And Sponges, man, I hope he's not tilted after that last play, but he's absolutely getting very aggressive. Maybe.
Oh yeah, he still flash actually. I think I said that he flashed in the last play, but must have just dashed in. He goes last play. Yeah, he's looking for the flash play on Fisher there.
Okay, Lahens get the freeze even though there's 3 people on top side. So he's holding the wave for Fisher to come back up with the own. And that is not a tragedy, but like another play that they tried to make that didn't work. So this game is very quickly falling out of control. They have to try this, like just overload on a side, but Fisher gets the wave. He ease forward to get a ward down even, and Lahens can come and cover.
DRX don't lose anything for making that move up, but every missed opportunity just feels worse and worse for this team, where I feel like as the game goes on, I'm feeling less and less confident, you know, if he turns in this direction. And I think Nongxin doing a good job of just mitigating the plays come through. They're now moving into the river, clear out some vision around where the Herald's about to spawn. That is one thing, Teddy permanently just has that mid-prior over you, obviously the range of the Varus, the wave player he has. But right now, Nongxin really have control off that river area.
Yeah, feels pretty good for them, and Fisher trying to go deep on that one, actually. Trying to do a bit more damage to that turret. But, yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, no real reason to overextend or do anything crazy. You're getting a Rift Herald for free. You picked up the Ocean Drake for free. Cloud Drake does come next, so it's not Cloud Soul. Gives us the opportunity of a Chem Tech, but also, you know, Mountain, Infernal, and Hex Tech, which are all very strong. So, Gnome, it just feels like they're very much in control of this one. Feats of Strength should come through for them eventually. And trying to go for a dive onto an Aurora. The hook is going to miss, and the dive is also going to be a big miss. As in goes Lahens with his own.
I mean, Lahens is just absolutely dumpstering Andy in this game. So how do they manage to make 2 plays at once? They're just getting pushed in both sides. Where am I from in the UK? Surrey. But the same place as Matt. We were born in the same hospital. Just a few years apart. So they're just getting pushed in all 3 lanes. Well, 2 lanes, sorry, on the top side. So Nomshin take Herald, answer the bot dive. Lahens is here like perfectly, by the way. And then they also dive top and they also take Herald. They've literally taken 3 objectives or made 3 plays all at once and all of them work. I mean, Lahens is just absolutely smurfing this whole game.
Yeah, I mean, that dive was just, it's just Yukal alone. Ando's obviously not there. Sponge, not there. And Sponge actually backing in the minimap, you can see right now, so he was there, but not at the right time.
Yeah, the off flash comes out from hands, give Andal no time to repel it, so has to play there. But I think ultimately that play felt a little bit
I
rushed.
think
Ideally,
Sponge can't base it though.
lead with like undodgeable CC like a Kasante are, but it's very hard to do when the wave's getting cleared and you're in a rush. This is just, you know, Gideon, easy as you do into the Harley. Now, Hands is in a bit of trouble. I think he's gone.
He might just be, but TP is coming in. There's the locket again. He's buying
Lockets and TPs. He's buying so much time.
He's only got one item, and easily disposed of by Zero, looking for more. The extension from the Yone on his Xin Zhao. And you would imagine, yes, Gideon should be able to finish off that kill. So now they take another big fight, and they have control of the Dragon Pits.
Yeah, I mean, this game is over.
And the last thing we've learned is never try and kill the hands.
What do you think about
He's tanky, actually.
They find him recalling here.
Freddy's Yone? I don't saw the last scrims, but he picked something like that. It looks strong. Yeah, the only thing he needed to do on Yone yesterday was just like chill out a bit. He was in a really good spot. He responded really, really well to the early pressure because it's Eins, they spam pressure mid, especially in that game one before they had kind of like fallen apart a bit.
It is quite the gap at this point in time. They can't whenever they want. They've got pushing lanes. They have the Rift Herald. Like I said before, you know, what don't they have? They've essentially.
But then he just like once went in to try and kill the Elise just for fun when he was on like half HP, died, and then so he came back and died, and came back and died, and then from there it was really hard. But it's good. It's definitely something we can bring out in the competitive games. London myself. Yeah. Epsom. It's like just outside of London, just within the M25. Like it's technically not London. In Surrey. Matt was the same hospital, but not the same town, technically. Morning. I felt like DRX was rarely on the same page in this series. I haven't seen the series, so this game so far, they've been quite disjointed, and I'm not a massive fan of the draft. I think mostly, though, this game has just been Lahens has been absolutely in Andal's head, like completely. And the swap is really, like, calling the swap was really, really bad for DRX, like, as in the fact that Nongshim called it, because it's just worse even than, like, regular lanes. I'm not going to pause and look back at this like they're just absolutely dumpstering them.
Well, we've seen Icon throws before, but I don't think this is going to be one of them. As they get the Icon, and now they turn on the fight, as they're looking to take down the Hens. They will enjoy their 200 gold. He gets a hook in the death chamber as well, just to add to the bonuses.
And this is like 1.2, so it's still instant. It's 200 gold, but it's still instant respawn. We'll jump forward and see if there's anything to see, but I think it will be...
Job successful. That's what they wanted, right? That's what they told us all game long.
Well, in terms of their objective of killing the Hens, they've done it 4 times, not too bad. In terms of their objective of winning the game...
But like the Hens on a middle tier team, by the way, is a bit of a tragedy.
At this point, I don't think there's much DRX can do. They are in a huge deficit.
I love watching the Hens.
This is kind of what we're talking about the competition. There's just nothing really you can do to stop this. They can try and win the fight afterwards. They're obviously really behind stuff.
And you both got like the same comp, so this looks so one-sided. You both have comps where you want to like just run at someone, but the Nongshim one I think is just better, but also is really ahead. So that's why like I'm so confident there's not going to be anything. They're just going to lose.
Again, up 3 levels is Gideon on Sponge here as they look to punish him. Should be able to, but this engage cone not even. It's actually going to help Gideon engage cone over the wall. So the Uno reversal there actually.
Okay.
And yeah, Nongshim can just kind of do whatever they want.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, just one of them. Just take them out. That is basically what they're doing in every situation. There's really nothing the DRX can do right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you could have gone instead, but
I talked before about how like Akali feels underwhelming when behind, but also like
it does kind of. It is kind of. Maybe even like Syndra or something, by the way. It's better. You still have that one-shot like burst damage, but you don't. I mean, your side lane obviously is much worse, but you don't have to get ahead. Yeah, it's hard to play.
He's just the enemy jungler in solo queue. Like, he is everywhere. He's in every lane.
I mean, any AD here, but
Yeah, this is a solo queue experience. You know, I'm definitely in Teddy's position.
what else could they have gone? So it was via Aurora, then they went. I think you have to take the Kasante with that many top bans. And then instead of Xin, maybe you... Yeah, instead, like, if this was somewhere else, instead of Xin, you can take Xayah already if you want, against via Aurora. Yeah, also... yeah. Yeah, I mean, also, you could take something like Galio. It's a little bit harder in the matchup, obviously, but... okay, let's see what they change for this next game. Still that same Shen ban. Corki can flex still. There you go. So it's going to be Ashe. Nice. They get more engaged because this top side has no like real engage. Like this is kind of follow-up engage. And then you've got the double range here, and this, I mean, late game will be range, but It's the turn tools that we talked about before.
What do you go for here? You can pick pretty much anything.
The hands with the counter pick is always fun. So we'll see what he goes for. Oh, okay. Braum is a very good pick, but it's just like boring.
You have engage, you have the engage wall. But you have the Ash ult, you have the threat like master plan, you have the little lullaby, you have ways to gap close in the enemy team. So I think it makes sense here.
Okay, I think this one is much better for DRX.
But it is Lens, and you know.
So it's Braum last. So yeah, they get rid of the Sejuani Rumble. Cassante and Aurora already gone, of course. So there's Ambessa, but no Sedge to pair with it. And they take the Corki as a flex, knowing that they want the Lilia already. So that does lock you into a third pick, and you can't change your third pick, of course, if you already knew you had this specific play or this specific this specific counter ready. Yeah, with the Varus and Ezreal gone, I think you would normally go like Varus or Ezreal here if you wanted to make full poke comp. But instead taking the Kai'Sa,
Pretty much anything.
I mean the bot lane should be really hard. Ash Braum into like it should be really hard for Kai'Sa Leona, I think. So maybe they go for the swap. Both Ambessa and Jax are like okay in the swap. So maybe they will.
I think DRX are really going to struggle. I think they have to set up and land poke for their composition to win.
Yeah.
You know, it's game 2, game 1 where we've talked about like there's an edge towards Nongshim in the draft. I feel like it's kind of going around the same route in game 2 where I feel like there's an edge. I do think there's, it's hard to say.
Less of an edge.
Less of an edge. I think they don't need to
The Shenmue was so funny.
If they get ahead, and they can like they can definitely come out ahead. Also, if like we get early McHales, it can really make it like you're firing if you land an arrow.
He loves those weird supports, right? And it's just like adds so much variance into the game, and so maybe you just want to get rid of it. But maybe they wouldn't be able to if they were on red side. Probably if they go to red side like game 3 though, probably they do have enough to have a like just full target ban. But the other thing about those target bans is that even if it's not all that strong, sometimes it can be easy to just get rid of the things that you definitely don't play and the enemy does. Because every time you get rid of something that you play as well, then you kind of have to like redo every draft in your head to make sure there's not any situations where like the only thing we need is a Shen support right here. But because they don't play Shen support, it's an easy ban to just have as like a permanent ban for a series.
Yeah, I remember. I was there.
Yeah, it was less than ideal, I think we can say. But
You did a lot of healing. You know,
Yeah.
you can target that one.
yeah, that point just plays rocket jungle. Like, if you can't hit spears, that's what you are. But one, you know, as you said, he's like, I think that's the thing is that.
Rick is here.
Yeah, I think it makes complete sense.
Okay, so it is going to be the swap.
Not sure.
Like we said, I think their bot lane is just so difficult to play.
Makes complete sense to swap playing
Into Ash Braum. Ash is going to counter. Sorry, Braum is going to come back and play
on so far. So a lot of comfort, which may
on this second wave. He's level 1 on the second wave, but he is still there. And Braum level 1 is much better than other supports level 1, right? Because he can stun multiple people.
But knowing where to be on the map to just shadow to cover your weak side. And it doesn't mean that's a 1v1.
And Jiwoo on the Ash should be a fine situation against the Jax.
You then just get auto down. Like, you're not going to kill him in one combo. And you're just gonna get
This is pre-nerf Jace as well.
especially if he has cleanse as well.
So I'm assuming it'll be Bruiser Jace.
So no dive can come through, which I think is a bit of a concern because Kai'Sa, Leon, and Italy, that is a lot of burst, a lot of execute damage from the Lily and Kai'Sa. You really could get those comfortably if all 3 were there.
So as it stands, you know, DRX, they do get the swap, but still feels like Gnome have reacted very well to it. Fisher with the fancy feet, by the way, is able to dodge.
Both junglers just full clearing. Both junglers clear quite fast, especially later on.
And here comes Sponge, he's level 4, with the quick clear, trying to get the punish here on Lens, who was just trying to help. He's gonna flash away, just to be safe. I think there was a chance maybe he even survives without the flash, but he didn't want to take that chance.
Yep. So getting the suns is obviously nice from the hands, but I think you imagine that same scenario where the hands wasn't there, it's just King and dead. So it's positive for DRX, but you always have to put in the context of what they would like to have happen, which would have been a kill specifically on a King and denial of farm. King is still confident, and with a big wave, he's even just...
This wave pushing out though, like, okay, this wave is now big, so I don't think they will freeze it. Maybe they can, but the bot's swapping anyway. So if you freeze that there, then you just build up pressure for Ash and Braum to come in. And okay, so it will be standard lanes again. As always, these people who are like poke lanes, like Ash or Braum as well, a lot of times the swap is just to get rid of that first thing, and then now you've got 3 levels on Leona, now you've got a lot more return threat. So I don't know if you can do this in your solo queue games, just like the one swap, but if you avoid that early position, actually the thing that's useful I think to see from this, if you're talking about taking it into your solo queue games, if you're a bot laner, is that like you should be playing this Ashe. If you're the Ashe and you just people match you 2v2, you need to play the level 1 like so aggressively, because that's why they swap, because they know Ashe is just going to walk at them autoing and just spamming W. Whereas in solo queue, you get away with it because you just don't punish people. Like Ashes don't punish people enough, like in mid and lower elo.
Much of anything in terms of a gank, but now we have a bit of a fight in mid. Fisher level 6 though, even a Valkyrie over you, Cal, for a bit of extra damage. Here's the first gank from Gideon, and Rich is in a bunch of trouble. He has his flash, he's jumping back into the fight just to try to
So he's just way too far forward, and I guess they just lost track of exactly where Lilia was going to be. And is he going to run up to try and contest this later grubs? This is quite aggressive. Okay, but Lens just 1v1, pushes him away, and it's top push with the Ash Brawl. So they're going to get the kill, and they're going to get 2 grubs. And they just stay together. Like, it's really nice. They just stay, like, fully together. We'll come back. I mean, they lose the fight. We'll come back and watch it at normal speed.
Yeah, because Andal was waiting around me.
Okay, good.
Does mean that he was able to move first.
In which case, yeah, then you should swap. Get away with that in challenger lobbies. So they all go together, like no one jumps away, which is good. But Teddy is kiting back so well. Really late lilting lullaby.
For quite a while, as here comes King in level 6 himself. He has tried to join this fight.
Oh, but the snipe. Okay, so King gets 2.
And Gideon still fighting against Sponge here.
Oh no, he misses the. Okay, that's going to be the last grub then, because he misses the smite on Scuttle. So the extra HP. So even with King incoming, they fight goes evenly, right? So it's going to be another plate. Oh no.
He didn't flash last time, so there's that. And
Okay, he flashes the arrow.
That was a difference maker.
Oh. Luckily he E'd that, by the way. I don't think he knew Nidalee was there. I think he was E'ing towards the red buff.
Problem is, even though Nongshim made those moves bot lane to kind of look for the Jax, this has led them to have a weak situation top where King kind of struggling getting towards the tower. I think because bot lane, you can see the hands moving up to the top side, he will get him picked farm, but we've seen a bunch of plates picked up for DRX.
So Braum comes up to cover. Ash and Braum in mid lane. They're still a really strong lane.
We'll see this play going down the bot lane. And Gideon actually tries to predict Rich's flash, so goes for the flash, the W here, kind of where the flash would end up. Rich holds the flash and figures out he's dead anyway. If he flashes in, he's flashing into it, into the W, he's dead. Ops instead, just to give it up. But yeah, this is an interesting fight. So Fish is quite low, I think that's a big factor. I know Yukal is, but Fish is kind of on the front lines right now. And we see they go into the fight for the very non-committal because of the Braum passive, they don't let get stunned up.
They're like going in and out, like this is exactly how they need to play.
But then Yukal gets this massive jump in, the follow-up is at Randall. Gideon's sleep does kind of save the play, but you kind of think how this play was going. Andal's dead, but G was about to go down. If King isn't here, I think it's just kind of doomed. I think if King isn't there, Gideon probably dies as well. Yeah. And King doesn't get those 2 kills in return, so it would be an absolute disaster.
You can see the spear hit King, and I think the call from Sponge.
Yeah, so the they're returning really good. Yeah, and like when you're on those objectives, you don't have that much engage, especially without the Ash ult at the time. Okay. Just jumps into the spear.
This is how you want a game to go when you have a Nidalee.
Yeah, so now Nidalee head on
It's
and is very slightly ahead of Gideon.
Leandri's Nidalee as well.
Really, the angle on the spear is the coolest moment.
Yeah, also the fact that Ted dashes to the side instead of like directly away, it kind of seemed like he was like, okay, I'm gonna back off, but not that much, and then he realized Sponge was there and he was in for a bad time.
Yeah, not respecting
once again, no dragon taken. Feels quite late. No, had his contest over the grubs early in these series, but dragon's kind of like an afterthought.
Dragon and I mean grubs again. Like grubs are just more important with these side laners, I think. If they get 5 on Jax and Jace. Okay, so he'll back up, but that's really worth it.
I have a lot of respect for Teddy for not cleansing, because the amount of times I've seen LCK AD carries, they hit by an cleanse immediately. Like even when there's no program to do off, they don't know how to do anything else. Teddy makes decisions that, hey,
so now same again, like there's more engaged than there used to be, but because Ash ult is down, they're just
and just holds it. Genius.
Imagine that.
They can just play like slowly. So Teddy comes in, chases away the Ash. Ooh, but I think they're okay with this, aren't they?
And they will do just that. Still a fight here over the grubs. Will turn into a quick 3v2, but
I mean, I think this is just really bad to go this deep. Just take these 2 grubs, get 4 grubs, and then come together and play on these guys. You still have Leona ult, you still have Kai'Sa ult to come this way, and Nidalee's very fast. You take both of these instead, and they just full go, like they go forward on both sides, and so now they're going to lose on one and also lose all the grubs.
turn into a quick 3v2, but Sponge is on the chase. They should be able to take down Anvil, though, painlessly.
Okay, so they get one grub instead. Instead of two. And they just, everyone's just running after people.
In goes King, and he gets the angle, but that's on the UCal. Now he's trying to flash away and trying to get some kills, but that's the kill on the ridge. Fisher, full health. He's got the Gatling gun, and he's just running them down with it as Teddy able to at least...
Okay, he's got 4 stacks, so he was just one tap there.
The missile is going to miss as it's in the name, and here comes Fisher, and there's not much you can do. You're not getting away from those two.
I mean, I think DRX just mega choked that fight.
I feel like once again,
You just send the Ashe away. She's got no mana. She's got no ult. She's got half HP. Just leave. Like, this is fine. You don't even need to jump in here. Like, you can jump in, sure, but like, now go the other way. That's not good for the fight or the grubs. Now these two people are trapped here.
This is such a daring move to go for, but it ends up paying off. You know, he ults in onto Yukao, captures him, gets the damage down.
Here, Corky. Yeah. It's like whenever there's a pause and Corky's in the game, it's always just like... I can't even do the sound. It's just like over and over and over again. I mean, that fight was just thrown for DRX. Kai'Sa can be so strong in this game, but she can't just be like running after one person.
As you said, talked about Rich's champion pool on the space. You know, it was a great mention from, I think it was Wolf and Wadid. We're talking about how he's gone back to this Ambessa many a time. If it's not Cassante, they take the Ambessa away. He's playing Jax. Not quite the same impact. And this is just game 2, right? We're very early on. And what could be 5 games? DRX would have to step it up a bit to make it possible. I feel like UCal is doing well for himself. He's not playing Akali at least, and he has shown that at least, you know, he can have a big impact on the Jake's mid. And he's been doing that. But, you know, King going in there and getting, you know, the refresh on the Braum stun onto UCal in a very important moment in that pit. Also pretty huge.
I liked the package. It was a terrible thing for pro play, but it's a fun idea.
Have a lot of mobile characters and dive onto targets and isolate them. In a group 5v5, if Nongshim are like C target, kill target, stack up passive from Braum, very hard to deal with, especially since so much damage can be blocked by either the Braum, like, you know, you block spears.
It was just super boring for pro play. If the game was even and Corky picked up package, you just can't fight until it's down, and so it's just boring.
Yeah, these champions, they just keep coming out.
Yeah, you think Ambessa's broken? You should see a daughter, you know?
Yeah.
I think what's crazy is we had a hotfix that came in with Mel on release, and it was one of the bigger immediate hotfixes I've seen for champion. She's still bonkers. Release Mel, not okay.
I think they realized, like, oh crap, we don't want another Xin situation. Like, no, please. And yeah, she's...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they responded quickly, but I mean, hit W is just absurd. But you know, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. We don't have to worry about that right now.
I was worried about that. Don't quote me on this. Until April.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we're just on this patch for the rest of LCK Cup.
Yeah, we just have to worry about the compassion Skarner, you know?
Cassante still exists.
Oh, God.
But, you know, it's
Okay, and they all go... Again, they just keep throwing out these ults. They look for a pick, I guess, with it.
At the same time, in goes Rich. He's going to open this up for, you know, Teddy to jump in. But,
Okay, let's watch this properly.
I mean, to be fair, they responded quickly, but I mean, hit W is just absurd. But you know, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. We don't have to worry about that right now.
I don't think we have to worry about that. Don't quote me on this.
Yeah, it was just really silly. Like, Corky picks a package, they take Dragon, package wears out, you can fight again. Great. For a while, it was actually synced up with the Dragon spawns as well. Because every 5 minutes, you just save your first one for the first Dragon, and then you'd always have it. So Ashe ult completely whiffs. But it's really hard for them to get in. Like, when Nongshim have the position, it's so hard for DRX to get in.
You know, Teddy to jump in, but it feels like this is looking good for the side of Nongshim. But it is the Riptail taking.
They get the Rift steal. But yeah, basically, if you have, like, this is 4v5 as well. Like, if you have position as Nongshim, it's so hard for people to come in.
I think also the confidence that Nongshim have is like DRX have scary poke, but like they just really can pose that much threat in terms of taking down Nongshim. They got Herald, they got out, DRX like a successful heist, and Nongshim are like...
Because like both teams actually have a decent amount of like poke. The Corky, but the Ashe as well, like, but also just Braum and stuff if you're engaging onto him.
As soon as that connects, DRX like, okay, where the hell, get out. And I'm like, wait, they're not TPing Corky, and Nongshim just walk away.
The second that UCal TPs in, you can see the comms are like so crisp from Nongshim. They're like, okay, we're not taking this fight.
Yeah, and also like Andal Flash is trying to, I think, follow up on Ambessa. Like, clearly the call was like, hey, we can kill Ambessa, and like Teddy ulted over, and then King
I started the HLE DRX game. I would have maybe just done it to enjoy it, but Tamas came on as a strategy, so we looked at some of the games from LPL instead because I wanted to actually look at a real game rather than the nightmare that was HLE DRX. Oh, where are you flying?
Looking for one on to do. That was a
you know, obviously they're looking like Fisher there. He was cleansed. You know, Gideon scary to engage on quite bulky with the
Rome. Oof, nice. I've never been to Italy. And I really want to go. We also live really close to Italy. I think from April there's going to be trains from Lyon to Italy for like 20 euros or something. So I will go then. But enjoy it. Have a good fight. The feats thing is wrong. No, should have 2 points in objectives, only 1. No, because they got 2 grubs on 1 round and then one grub on the next. So neither time did they get full 3. So they only have 1 point in objectives. They have 2 on the kills, but they lost the kills already.
So it's difficult. I think it's difficult to find angles.
Looking for one on to do. That was a close spear.
Yeah, the walk a straight line strategy and whip.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw that it was a craziness, and both teams kind of didn't really want to win.
Yeah.
But he's got that at least. So, but again,
No, it's not. It's each set you have to get all 3, so that's why you quite often see people trying to steal 1 now. I mean, this poke is really obnoxious. Like, so they can't leave the tower, and eventually they just get poked down. You don't even need to dive them. Just more poke.
And you're going to be in a great spot. There's no saving Fisher here. He could try to TP, but then he just die instead. He's going to Valkyrie and survive for a little bit longer. And who they give the kill to is really the question. As the crowd goes wild because nothing misses.
So they get a dragon though. They're going to play the Atakan straight away with the TP. Ooh, but now they don't have that much, or with the counter-strike missing, they don't have that much way to turn. Okay, well, let's watch this. So Fish is dead, but he does have TP if you can stall out the fight.
Normally, I'm quite praiseful of Lahen's doing this thing where he defends his lane. There's nothing to be done for Fisher there.
Bessa TP's up to top side, so it's still 45 here. Jax is on the other side, which can be really, really good for Jax if he lets them come in. And I think that's one of the reasons why Andy just wants to instantly turn on the Hens, because Jax could then be on the flank. But now, Nongshim back off enough so that Jax actually, his counter-strike doesn't get onto Jiwoo, because it would have forced cleanse instead. Leona ult comes in, and a 3-man sleep into... I mean, Kengan kind of fucked that, but... And now... I mean, Lilia was just insane there.
Is unkillable, and Jiwoo is as well for some reason. Nobody could take him down, and Fisher, he's like, hey, remember me?
He gets this.
This is revenge.
Yeah, now they're going to get the Atakan themselves.
Is so big here. It's a Nidalee. She can sustain herself up. She would still have to smite. You wouldn't be able to do Atakan if Nidalee was still alive. Fisher makes the commit. He flashes to secure it. And here, once again, Lahen's trying to help out his solo laner.
So this is a trade for the dragon, and then they go for the Atakan. But because they turn and the turn doesn't quite land, like if that E hits the Hens, I think the turn works really well. Because you can't come up and help him because Jax is coming behind you. And now here you get a triple sleep. I think King messes up the combo afterwards, but it's okay. I mean, now they get Atakan as well. Yeah, where did he use Ash ult?
Yeah,
didn't even see.
But here, they're trying to make the engage happen, but the slow from Jiwoo comes in, the counter-strike doesn't do anything, Lahen's Braum is obviously very hard to punish. Yeah. The ult gets 2, but the sleep comes out and gets 3 in this lineup, the Braum ult and the Ambessa ult. Immediate double flash coming out. And
oh, he just chain kills Rich. Yeah, I think you just make sure you secure that kill if he doesn't get another counter-strike up as well. So now they've got the boots as well, because they've got the 3 objectives. Your 3rd objective was Atakan.
Remember, there's a minute and a half on Atakan buff. They're really trying to punish this. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, really. They might get Jiwoo here, but he does cleanse and flash over the wall. That will be 1 withdrawal. And Fisher kind of going 1v3. Not the best situation for him. He will go down as well. And they should be able to get Lahen's unless he can hop over.
Okay. I mean, mostly people don't use sums when they've got withdrawal. But now the important thing is you've got his sums as well, so they completely disrupt the... they got a bunch of kills, or half kills, but also they got summoners. So no summoners on Ashe now. Okay, but still, because you just use tools in the fight and you use your HP bars in the fight. King just hinting. That was really silly. So now there's no flash on Corki, there's no flash on Ashe, there's no flash on Lance, there's no flash on Gideon. Like, this is not a strong moment. I need to check on the other side. Kaiser's flashes down, Nidalee's flashes down, Jax's flashes down. But Leona and Jace, okay, Jace flash now. But Leona's flashes up. Ashe is so vulnerable. So it's very hard to take control of any part of the map now with Ashe both summoners down.
They desperately wanted it, and they did not get it. Fight over the Skull Crab. Nice burst from Sponge, who is not nearly as far behind as he was in game 1. Still down a level.
So that's why Ashe, you see, is so much further back than before.
Spears and poke. should go the way of DRX as the Hextech Dragon is being burst down. The flash on in there.
Now flash instant onto Ash still.
So long. They do take the action of the fight though. Gideon, desperate for something, goes into the Zanyas, and he's got the Ambassador.
Okay. Wait, I really thought they would win this. So,
Spears and poke.
no flash on Ash, no cleanse on Ash, and obviously no dash. So this engage from Mandil is really nice. They do one-shot him. Gideon coming forward. This Ambessa, yeah, they are going to kill them all still. The Ambessa Lilia combo is quite good. But this is because they used all their summoners when they had the...
That's the cost. Jiwoo burning both his summoners. You know, the death alone, I don't think it was that big of a deal when he died with the Atakan buff.
I mean, he burned both summoners. Like, they burned things on Atakan buff where they had nothing to get. Like, you have to just die there.
That's the whole point. And now we'll lose Baron to DRX with this. We'll take the gold lead. Actually, I see that. Gideon is approaching, but has no way to get into the pit. And Nando is there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See it happen.
DRX will pull a slight gold lead at the back of this. Yeah, we play this fight. So, Rich actually gets so much value here. The ultimate Jiwoo is huge. It does last a long while. But eventually...
I mean, for me, the Ambessa dive didn't look like he was ever going to burn summoners, but maybe I
They forget about it. Talk about that.
misunderstood how strong he is. I mean, that's just insane engage.
Go down, let's see what I can do. And then Ambessa's like, goodbye. Yeah. Hard to tell if Kingdom was aiming for the short range ult on Rich, or he was trying to follow up on the Kai'Sa. I think he was trying to follow up on the Kai'Sa. Could have also just been a miss that ended up backfiring. You know, like when Leone on the wrong person.
Yeah.
I can't say, you know, we didn't see his point of view, but ultimately was the wrong decision or the wrong place to end up with that ultimate. And I think you saw there when the fight gets a bit split. I mean, obviously when Jiwoo dies, the fight's been successful and he's been kind of untouched. That's a big thing. His summons are coming back up now. But also, when you have this competition with Raum, you're so good at like...
Okay, so...
pick a target, kill the target, pick a target, kill the target. They were very split there.
Oh, that's going to be a huge one for Teddy. Even flash.
Now he's got both summoners again.
Just gets outplayed by Teddy straight out there, pushing with the Baron.
Oh no, he didn't cleanse, but...
Down hits him and Jiwoo just does not respect
Oh,
him.
right, Teddy cleansed. I saw it cleanse.
Suddenly the game has gone from, you know, game at DRX...
Okay, trying to do something here. They did a teensy bit of damage to Ondil.
Yeah, trying to just keep the wave back, but... Oh, Kingdom's down Teddy, that's a lot of damage.
Teddy's gone so like this route over from Teddy is so aggressive. Like he runs back towards top side, like so near a wall that they have no vision of.
Way back, but...
So he just gets completely chunked and loses flash. But Gideon does die as well. They're going to get in hip and top side.
Nongshim trying to make... Oh, Hex getting in. Lahens really wants to fight.
It is Lahens alone. Nobody has followed him, to probably making the smart call not to follow him. And yeah, just a little bonus Braum kill. Not bad.
Game 1 was all about sacrificing and getting value for it. Game 2 is about sacrificing.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as your Ash insta-dies at the beginning of a fight, it's always going to be difficult in terms of the damage.
You can't make things happen. I feel like this is one of these situations where Braum, in terms of what the composition wants, is a fine pick. But in terms of what Lahens wants, it's really not working that well. Because he wants to be like, guys, I'm making a play. Come with me, come, go. But he's just kind of walking at them with his shield up.
And then his backline dies at the same time.
I mean, I think that only so far this game is just don't burn summoners when you're dying with Atakan.
Doing the same things in a fight, and I think he's wanting to do what like Leona does.
Because you burnt summoners before the dragon fight as well, so you either have to give up that dragon because you don't have flash, but that feels so bad. To just full give up a dragon just because you don't have flash on AD carry, even though they don't have flash on AD carry either, but you just don't have any tools really to go instantly.
We're going to do Hextech Dragon fight 2, Electric Boogaloo, as Sponge takes a ton of damage actually, he has to flash away. In goes Rich, it's very disjointed from DRX.
Okay, let's
They really managed to come back in this one.
Yeah.
And this comp, you can see how, like, you know, Teddy on the Kai'Sa, Sponge on the Nidalee.
So again, the poke all starts to come in.
We're going to do Hextech Dragon fight 2, Electric Boogaloo, as
They try and chain CC Nidalee. Almost do. One more auto and he dies because he gets stunned again. But I think that's just too much. And now they're fast enough with the Lilia stacking up.
They've got their hands up in the air and they're like, please don't come at us. We don't want to fight. We'll give they're gonna
see how, like, you know, Teddy on the
So how should they play this differently? Firstly, they're really late on it. They're recalling now with like 15 seconds left. So they're going to lose control of this wave. They can't play on this wave in mid where they really need to be. So they completely lose position on it. And like we said, if they lose position on it, enemy team also has a lot of like poke and like non-committal engage and stuff to just throw at them. And so now they just chain CC the Nidalee. And almost he dies and he does flash. And now you just have to leave. Like this is just leave. Just rush mid and you at least get the push in mid and you don't die. Now Lilia's stacked up and so Yeah, you need to be the one going in, otherwise it's always going to be hard.
The big difference is that the arrow connects, you know, the other one's initiating. Even though they don't kill Sponge, they force him low. Sponge has to play defensively, contra and the smite. Really changes the dynamic. And also the poke just wasn't really connecting that effectively onto Nongshim. They've been decisive, and also if you look at the items coming through, something to be said, the fact that Gio and Fisher both have bloodthirst. Gio declines against that Leona ult. Fisher dashes away from Rich. The engage doesn't come through. They're on the objective. You see Fisher and Gio healing up. And then Gideon also, you know, there's a lot of stain from Nongshim he's trying to see come through. The poke doesn't land. They'll be healthy. And they just chase down Andal. Yeah, I think Nongshim did a good job of sticking as a unit together in that one. And also just chunking out Sponge. Both of those had a lot of value there.
I mean, when we continue on in this game, we're already 32 minutes in. It's actually a pretty close game. Like, DRX are in the lead, for sure. They have first check on the Sparrow, which they're probably going to look to start up, or at least wait for. And if they can get the engages started on their terms with Andal's fantastic Leona play so far, then certainly, you know, DRX might just run away from this one, but run away with this one, maybe not from this one. But we saw even yesterday against Life, you know, some rough spots where it felt like DRX probably should have been winning games, yes, weren't quite able to.
So still, if DRX can engage, still be good. But I do think Kingen and Gideon, like that combo, I really like, and I like the way they're playing at the moment.
Not to make any crazy plays, not to overforce. Connect the poke. You know, you have so much strength there. You also have the Serpent's Fang from Yukal, so with the poke hits, oh, look at that.
Oh, some poke is landing, and then they try and engage.
There were situations like that against Hunlight Esports, and I'm hoping they've learned from that. Not to make any crazy plays, not to overforce. Connect the poke. You know, you have so much
Yeah, like when you lose control of that dragon, you lose control of that dragon when you lose control of that mid lane, and then I think probably already you should be thinking about what else you can do. But the thing is, there's nothing else to do, and so they get sort of baited into it, and it ends up being worse world.
Not to make any crazy plays, not to overforce. Connect the poke. You know, you have so much strength there.
Like here, you need to be like talking about conditional engages wherever possible. So be talking about like I'm gonna go if. You can't just go on anyone. But Andil for some reason thinks that this engage is good, and everyone else doesn't. So they don't even try and follow up, which is really wild. Like they don't even. They didn't try to help him. So something's gone very wrong there.
You see the hands once to recall, he's kind of hesitant about it. Got the wards in pocket in the control board. So he's trying to find some way to get back. Kai'Sa very annoying at stopping recalls.
But it's just another fight where like Andal just dies and nothing happens. This time nothing happens. Last time it was the Hextech break first, and then he died. So now it's just Nongshim kind of buying time for potentially they look better as a team right now. You know, playing as a 5-man unit. I really worry for DRX in this situation. It's weird to say.
It's so weird because like Nongshim at that dragon fight, they landed the ult on Sponge, got some poke, didn't commit. That's really what DRX should be doing. Getting some poke, you don't need to commit. Oh, Teddy.
Yeah, Slip comes in. Teddy going in though. It's you and a lot of trouble getting black. In this situation, it's weird to say.
It's so weird because like Nongshim at that dragon fight, they landed the ult on Sponge.
Teddy just takes the game back somehow. So now they just like 2v2 their bot lane. Teddy is massive. King's gonna die again. Is that gonna be Baron in Hibs or game? Probably just Baron, right? And it's just the 2v2 with Kai'Sa and Jace, with Teddy just playing very aggressively, and he gets flash again. So now they kill this, they reset, and they play the next fight, and probably I think Launching should just let them have it, because Ash got no cleanse again. And this time they actually should be on position on it. Like they should have position on it.
So split right now. Yeah, it just felt like Nongshim really dropped the ball, and it feels like DRX have been looking for these angles, you know, hasn't always worked. This one paid off massively.
Yeah, and I can understand why they were desperately trying to join up because Gideon.
Oh, not again,
okay.
Yeah, too. I think he's just dead. I mean, how can you save?
He's got no flash. That's a tragedy. That's blind. This is fully blind, by the way. They have no vision on what's on the other side. And not only do they catch someone, they catch the exact right person who has no flash, and they also don't catch anyone else. Like, Braum could be here as well. Gideon could be here as well. Like, they have no idea from what I can tell. And they just, it goes fully perfect. They just come through.
Oh, not again, not again.
Boom. It's a tragedy.
I mean, how can you save him?
How is he? That's just a tragedy.
Take him down as an afterthought. Nongshim, one by one. The dominoes fall, and DRX say, well, do we even need the dragon? Maybe we can just end the game.
Gio has not looked good this game at all. You obviously put some criticism towards the Hens for not being with him, but you know, the Hexgate started channeling, and he was kind of like, where do I go? Away!
I mean, that's such a wild Hexgate to take, I think.
There is only one direction to go away from this one.
Yeah,
they could all be there.
DRX managed to close this one out.
And so everyone just panics. Like, Rich instantly goes away from the Ashe because he's like, oh shit, they're all here. But then they realize, like, wait, it's just Ashe. That's a wild one. It's such a, you're right, yeah, it's such a weird way for the game to end. Zero vision Hexgate onto the AD carry by themselves without flash. I guess that's how we used to hear, like, right, so this Hexgate, guys.
I think DRX definitely, when things got messy, and this game was definitely a messier one than
Yeah, she's still just walking to her team. I guess maybe she can run away straight away, but I just think that's crazy.
I think the focus and also after that rose, you can actually get outscale. You know, like you can get the outscale value with the rose stacks. So I think that was damage. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how the rest of these drafts go. Still Zyra banned. Oh, they swapped sides, so that should change things up a bit. Xayah, so they might go for a dive, like Nocturne or something. Was Vi's gone, right? Yeah, Vi's gone. It can be like Nocturne on 1 or something. Rumble with Nocturne as well, still available. Rel still available, right? You can build this like big wombo combo for the side of Nongxing. It's going to be the Galio as an answer. Okay, I like this. Galio and Wukong as answers, potential answers. You can go Mumu here actually if you're Nongxing. I don't know if he plays it. And then you go AD mid, and the double ults from a Mumu Rumble is absolutely obnoxious. Okay, Maokai a little bit more standard, worse in the matchup, and not as fun cheesiness. Okay, I think still just go for the wombo combo. MF can work, Jinx work in the same way. You just run at and kill one person, and you play Jinx like it's a reset champ, right? You get that first kill. So now your choice is like, do we go for a blind mid lane, okay, and we double ban, or we go for AD carry? So with AD carries gone, I'm assuming we'll see probably 2 more ADs banned from side of Nongxing and 2 potential counters. But because you've already got Maokai ult, you know you're going to have, you need at least one good ult, one really good ult to make Sylas like just fine as a blind, and especially with a bunch of stuff gone. There's probably anything really is fine into Lee Sin. I'm sorry, into Lee Sin. Into Sylas. So that's why they're banning junglers instead. And again, like people, when they're casting quite often, the thing that I would disagree with as a coach is they're often saying it like, okay, these jungle bans mean that they think that Maokai is going in the jungle. But I think that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you're banning, you say, okay, like, sorry, they think Maokai is definitely going as support. But I don't think Nongxing know where this is going at this stage. So you ban junglers that you think, okay, if they put it support, these 2 junglers would be really good into our comp and what we want to do. So we're going to take the Lulu, and then we're probably going to take the Aphelios because they still haven't banned it. I don't know why this isn't Aphelios ban. I think Nami Lucian would be a bit wild here. Considering LCK prefers blue side and LPL teams prefer red side, which do you think is generally preferable? I mean, the sort of general rule is you need to have a good reason to choose red side. That's the kind of default rule, because blue side almost always has a bit of a higher win rate and stuff like that. But I quite like red. I think at the moment I think I probably prefer blue for us. But I like the Eric last pick on red is always good. So countering support, we mostly counter. And it's going to be Zeri or, okay, no Aphelios. We probably want a bit more mobility. Also, LCK seems to love Zeri. I think this Lucian ban is silly. It should be Zeri or Aphelios. And you're running out of ways to get onto Zeri. This is one of the things in Fearless that we're talking about. Sometimes the thing that's good in Fearless in the end is not like a super weird pick necessarily. Like Zeri used to be meta, but the problem is that we have so much dive tools to get on Zeri. You just play against like Vi Nautilus every game. And also the lane matchups are hard against like a lot of the meta ADs. Now a bunch of meta ADs are gone and the dives are gone. Abyss is gone, Nautilus is gone, Vi is gone. So these late game Zeri picks can be really, really good. LCK has 61% win rate on blue and LPL has 58 on red. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think LPL, I mean, it's a classic, but it's actually true for sure. in this season as well. Like, because you're fighting a lot more early, individual lane matchups maybe matter more, counter matchups matter more. Maybe that's my theory, slamming a last counter pick. But to be honest, it's also a self-fulfilling prophecy a bit. The better teams have side choice more than the worst teams. So the better teams are more likely to choose blue because they think blue is better, therefore blue has a higher win rate, therefore they're more likely to choose blue, or vice versa with red. So it could be something. There could be something in it, but it also can be like a bit self-fulfilling. So like, for example, in NLC, I think us and Lost Ratones get side choice on Thursday. And so we're also probably the teams both favoured, although obviously the games could go either way. And so if the favoured team gets side choice most of the time, whichever people just decide is best will often be best. If that makes sense. So no lane swap. Both teams just happy with it. Wouldn't mind a lane swap actually for the side of an auction. Jinx is good in the swap, but they want to get gold onto Rumble. So they will get the push. Jinx gets pushed into most people, and the threat from the Blitzcrank seems to be enough to counter the fact that it's double range.
Yeah, but it's not just that, it's also the fact that like when you have it stolen, you can get the extra the auto damage, and Silas autos like that's not that big of a thing for Blitzcrank unless you go on like one hit here Blitzcrank. But for Silas, you know,
This is like old school matchup: Tristana mid versus
I think normally we take
Silas.
one good option. I think you have two good options, two okay options. Equalize is okay. I think a lot of time Equalize does less damage than you think. It's like half assault. You kind of need the right items and runes and stuff to make you have the value. It's still fine. And the Tristana ult, I think is actually kind of it's deceptively strong as well. Just on the fact that
just going in.
Yeah, so I'm not doing any damage to him. Yeah, just on it, it's like deceptive because you have the AP ratio on it, and you have it's like an extra bit of base in the combo. So it can be very useful.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's probably just going to be stealing, 2 ults, maybe 3, depending on who he's giving access to. So probably not going to see many. He's kind of nice. But maybe from time to time.
Maybe in the 1v1, you know, you just grab it, you just pop it for the extra base. 100% AP ratio, not really big thing really, but we'll have something, probably be a bigger thing. The dream scenario, I remember they definitely changed the cooldowns.
So much more standard because it's just 2v2 in bot lane, 1v1 on top.
Takes a long fight, and I don't think there will be long fights in this game.
Yeah, no,
I think it's just what he wants to play into Lily, to be honest. Blitzcrank. I mean, Lahens loves the Blitzcrank, right? You have the combo with Maokai, like it's the same as the Vi. Like anytime you can lock down one person just with point and click, then you can hook as the follow up, and getting that one Jinx kill is really big. I think it should be very hard to ever threaten Zeri with the Blitzcrank, but I mean, Lulu you can hook and punish always, but I think in competitive a lot of times it's less like, oh, we hooked in a, I mean Wukong maybe, but like hooking a Silas still should be probably good, because you don't do it until it's in a situation where it's good to do it, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's not, I think, I don't know if they wanted the Lulu themselves or what, but it's a very confident Blitz on 4. The other thing as well in Fearless is like, you're very good Blitzcrank, right? If you take Blitz in a suboptimal game and you don't win with it, then you can't take it in the great Blitz game that might exist later. But maybe that game wouldn't have existed if you did have Blitzcrank up, you know? So like, it's fun. Like, there's a lot of extra thinking now in the draft. It's like much... I wouldn't say it's harder because it's always drafting against someone. So
we highlight that in some scenarios, Lahens is just a gap closer for DRX. So if Dew oversteps and then Teddy dashes forward and ults, what is Lahens supposed to do other than run forwards and knock up Teddy? That might just lead to him dying.
So you Maokai ult and then you Blitzcrank hook someone basically.
If you step up too far, Teddy can just slide over the wall and run you down.
And Teddy does have the jump over the wall, but he doesn't have cleanse.
Dew does have a level leap, funnily enough. Maybe get a little bit more alone time with Lulu hang around a bit. And he's trying to set up something now. Gideon level 7 has his ult available. Has a Sponge going to find him, or was it Gideon that found Sponge? Already a lot of damage done.
Oh my god.
Here comes Lahens just threatening a hook.
Just half HP'd the Wukong?
It's like using the animations of like the... I thought I called like the guns and stuff to try and look like he's throwing it, you know? It's like moving his arms, I'm going! And it's like,
And he's just holding the hook for like loads of threat.
Zoning away the enemy bot lane, you don't even have to press any buttons, you just posture.
It's also just, it does one of two things. I don't think DRX are going to do this, whether it baits him into flashing.
Free knockup, bit of damage. Well, that didn't go the way you were thinking it was going to go, Lahens. Heads up.
Okay, I mean, why would you go for that when you don't have ult?
I did say it, you know, it's one of those things. Oh,
Little angle here, no buffer for Fisher. He's going to get away from that.
that would actually be a really nice buffer for Fisher, because I think if he eats the full knockback, Sponge is in range just to immediately ult him. So good from Fisher to get out, but yeah, you know, in a pinch, the buster shot does work, smash the damage. Yeah, good talk about that.
So they do get the dragon, but they lose both stuff in both side lanes. I mean, obviously the bot lane is not really for that. Not because of that, sorry.
It's not a Zeri moment, but it's definitely very scary. It's like very scary Zeri. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna use my ult.
Like, he can be forward because he just knows that they win the 2v2 on the ult spike.
Equalize on the wave, at least to try to survive. But they have just so many threats here. This is what this composition does. They get the flash.
And they just push up through and they dive on the other side. And the trade is that Jinx can push on top tower and she's going to ult. Ooh, bit late ult. So it doesn't stop anyone.
Yeah, I've seen,
Probably just hit the turret.
you know, we've seen a lot of Zeri Lulu in our time. I've seen so many times where, like, Zeri's struggling, like holding on for dear life in a lane up to level 5, and then level 6 is hit. The enemy laner still is confident because how lane's been go, oh, they've been playing for defense.
Losing on, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then they just go, oh, we're level 6 now, dash in, ult, run them down. All is so powerful. This was a pretty easy dive to that. I want to see, was it Rich who got aggro first? Yes, I know polymorph, but it didn't give aggro, it didn't deal damage. Rich just able to grab it very late, so didn't even take my tower. It did flash out, would have died, I think, otherwise Lehen's got his hands on him, but just a good clean dive. And would you believe, Brendan, another kill for Zeri?
Yeah, I can
But it is 6 grubs on the side of Nonshing.
Zeri moments, but it's, you know,
They've got all the
let's to believe that she is the killer.
the what's it called? Like the feats of killing monsters, whatever that's called.
They need to get Wolf on the space in like a...
You'll need to ask Handle.
Investigator outfit.
Can we get some mystery music?
He's like, the signs are all pointing.
And Tristana and Jinx,
He's out investigating. He's finding, he's finding the clues, you know?
Yeah, they're not very obvious. Like,
if they do get time on the towers, like it's not like you have huge side lane threat. I mean, Trist will.
so
But
goes in, presses ult again.
if they do get time on the towers, it's like really, really
He
big.
didn't have the hands there, so like, get close. I mean, get hands in the last time, but you know, a bit of a short lane in the mid lane is a big difference maker. Harder to get that thing.
Okay, so can they do this dive?
Fish had a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, this can they do damage to this Galio is really the question at the end of the day. With TP coming in, they're
No.
not going to test it too much. Although Fisher,
I think they should just hit the
How
tower.
much damage does Tower do right now?
The stacked up tower just does so much, and now he's.
that is a good night.
Wait, they just talked Fisher now. He
Yeah,
keeps going.
they can't kill him, and he has to flash away.
I mean,
Just said, okay, yes, I'm blitzkrieg.
like you just have no damage other than Tristana, and Tristana
He's gonna steal the blitz, frankly, but, he grabs the buster
dies.
shot.
Is it actually called feats of monster slaying, or
Uh-oh, Jiwoo.
There's a Wukong, and you don't have ghosts. I don't think it would have helped anyway.
was I just making that up?
And a nice angle foul here by Sponge.
Things are starting to go a little bit rough. Tower taken by DRX, they'll get feet of strength. I don't think they needed them.
so they do get the feats of
And
strength?
it's another clue. Hawks.
It's just.
Third clue, actually. Generally only
Okay, thanks. It was just quite similar to the random thing that I made up. That I was a bit confused.
Yeah, I mean, the first time was just so low.
I mean, what is this? I don't know what they're going for here. Like this whole situation is a nightmare. They're never going to kill the Galio then.
I just wonder like what the call is there. It's like, okay,
You got 6 scrubs. You got Tristana. Just cover him so he can just kill 2 plates.
he just like ran it.
That's like guarantee you hit it. You run up to them and eat it.
Okay, they're still going to keep getting the. I don't quite understand how they've still got like the dragons and stuff though. But 2 dragons, 6 scrubs.
Really, really bad to knock him.
Jinx just in mid.
Champions on DRX get like decent value. Like Lulu gets the healing shield power. You know, the extra tankiness for like Yukal and Rich when low HP. By the way, this is before the buff chem tech.
So do it, you. Don't do it.
Oof.
He did it.
They just done that. Yeah. So chem tech has
That's a
buff
nice
chem
flash.
on live, so it's not buff chem tech, which is slightly stronger. But Nongshim, their only saving grace this game, other than the grubs, was the fact that they had 2 dragons. So if they got like a good soul.
You're one of my new favorite streamers to watch. Oh, thanks.
Like game 2 where they had, you know, a couple of Drakes.
Always, if you got any questions, ask them. Because especially in games like this, like when there's this.
Halted his own wave.
Wait, I thought that was the. I thought that was Kingan's ult because it looked like it was Kingan's ult to clear the wave, but actually it was Yukal steals the ult and then just messes up the casting of it. Look at this. Does literally no damage.
And Yukal halted his own wave, and he's kind of dying now, but the entire team is there.
So Rumble can do this where basically the way that you. Drop your question as well, like for sure. If I'm ever explaining stuff and you guys don't understand it, like do feel free to just ask because maybe I'm explaining it badly. I'm like watching the game as well. Also, we think about the game in a very specific way. I think a lot of pro teams all think about it in the same way, and so it's difficult to explain sometimes when you haven't thought it through that someone's not thinking about the game in the same way as you. But so much of the game in pro play is about just tempo and how long you're going to take to clear the waves and like playing on the waves. So they want to clear this and then go top lane. And the thing that's so obnoxious about playing against Rumble or so good playing with Rumble is that you can always just use your ult one time to just one-shot the wave. Like if it's not Rumble, he dies here. It doesn't matter how tanky he is. Like even Galio dies because they've got 4 people coming and everyone is just too late to support. But Rumble can just one-shot the wave, which means by the time you get around the tower, you're going to just take way too many tower shots. So you always have this thing with Rumble where you can just like cheat one cycle and they have to play on the next waves. You're not vulnerable until here, and by that point, support will have arrived. So that's why like Rumble's like super obnoxious in this way. I mean, like GP or someone could do the same thing at this stage of the game. You just walk forward and barrel it as well. But clearing that, that's why it's so weird that Yukal takes the ult and like ults his own wave because it looks like he's just showing him what he should do.
As Sponge is going to go in, and he's going to flash over the wall. And we're just burning flashes like
Okay.
pennies that are going out of style. I mean, it's like
So they push him away and they take the Herald. With Silas going bot, they can't fight for that.
because it just feels
I mean, he had TP, but new TP is like not really being there.
man, it's just you're casting. Sometimes things come out of your mouth. You can't explain that.
I'm sorry for holding you accountable to the things you say, Brendan.
No, don't.
I thought it was
I would never. I would do that to Chronicle.
I thought this was like, you know, like what Abe Simpson's, like, you know, used to put an onion on your belt and just have like quarters with bees on them. All these Lally your fathers, all these old timey sayings. I just have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Penny's going out of style. That was a fashion. That was a fashion at the time.
Yeah.
Of course.
The little golems show that Silas is there.
All right, well, you
Silas TP's the top. They just swap for the matchups, I guess. Okay, nice hook. Gets flashed on Lulu. And Summoners on Lulu is like not as much as Summoners on AD carry, but like pretty much. But the thing is they don't have any like way to instantly get on her. Okay. So DRX just responded well to like bad plays from the side of Nongshim, but haven't done really anything proactive themselves. And Rich just like goes around in a circle. I mean, sorry, Gideon just goes around in a circle and just catches Rich again somehow.
That's not even what I said. What did you say? I don't even know. It wasn't that. It wasn't that.
So he also uses ult to jump in to kill the tower, just insta kill him. And Gideon just loops back around what you didn't see there.
Penny's on the cliff.
They're playing for the next dragon. And this is where the Blitzcrank is really strong. Because when you have control of these areas, you can like one-shot someone at this stage of the game. Because again, like it's not like solo queue where someone's going to end up with like 4 or 5 items before the game is decided. Competitive games for junglers are almost always decided on like 1 to 2 items. So, especially when they're not ready for it, this is very aggressive. They can just one-shot when they're all here. The thing is that the return damage is really, really high as well.
DRX will like those, but still, it's just a 1-for-1 trade.
But the jungler is dead. Both junglers are dead actually, so not as big a deal. They get half the tower in top. Atakan and Dragon on the same side, and also it's Chemtech Soul pre-buff, so it's less of a big deal than it used to be. So DRX can breathe a sigh of relief because they lost the first 2 dragons just for free. But Lulu Summoner's coming back up. Still a bit for the flash.
I went to Lulu ult and I had to click a second time. Oh no, here comes another engage featuring Blast Node, Megatone, Ingos Fisher engaging himself. And the Maokai doesn't look really doing much.
So because they hard engage on this other side, that's how they actually get the Maokai away. But I don't think it really... I think they don't need to fight for this dragon. Let's see what if they go for it. They can, I think. The fight still works. They have Maokai ults. Oh no, they don't have Maokai ult. Wait, did he use it here? Yeah, okay, right. So because of this nice blast cone play from Rich, they isolate the Maokai, and Maokai has to ult to get away. Didn't see it because it was just in the river. Now the TPs come down. King is going to go in with the Rumble ult. Only Lulu and Galio don't have flash. It's a very nice equalizer. And now you just... This is the downside of the Blitzcrank. Like here, you're like, I can't really do anything, guys. I knock up their tank. And then my entire backline just gets one-shot by Wukong.
Again, just press your buttons all at the same time in one direction, and you're going to feel pretty good as DRX.
So they get the dragon, they get the fight. Yesterday I was watching Tolkien co-streaming LEC. It was... Wait, is LEC gone to Game 5 Fearless? It was Game 5 Fearless, so a lot of champs are gone already. I'm going to clip the sequence and send it because there was so much obvious pick of Varus, and I don't know why. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it will let you show me a clip of that. I actually don't know really. still working out how to stream. I don't know how to make it so that it can allow certain links. I've tried to make it so that it can allow links from Twitch, but just adding twitch.com
Both Nongshim and DRX stand still and just shoot at each other from a distance.
to the whitelist of links. Twitch.tv, sorry, didn't seem to work. So try it. If it doesn't work, I'll turn it off fully. But yeah, I'm happy to watch
But
it.
again, there's not a lot of good targets. Could have definitely hooked Rich, but like,
I feel like the flank from Rumble is actually bad on the Drake fight.
yeah, look at him, he's still running away.
I think this fight is hard already. When DRX have full position, I think the fight is hard. I think this ult is really, really good. And he goes forward. He's taking like 2 people here. So in isolation, it feels bad to like tell him to not do this. But they don't have the Maokai ult. And Rich has a really good position and they have to come in. And now no one can help the backline. I think Maokai, for me, I like the Rumble one, but for the
This is what DRX's composition want to do.
for me, I don't mind the Rumble one. I would just like Maokai here. Maokai should play with these 2 because Blitzcrank is not enough frontline. And so like Blitzcrank can play with one and Maokai can play with the other, and they can actually be a little bit split up. This is the thing that Matty's been talking about with us, and here's a great example of it. Because Wukong is going to get a flash engage and hit both carries. And that's a tragedy. Because these guys should play as a unit and these people should play as a unit. Actually, probably this way around, the other way around. Should play as units. And so like if Maokai's up here with Jinx here and Blitzcrank is here with Trist here, then Wukong can't kill both. The idea would have been to go with your team as Rumble and try to throw an ult one way to separate so you can hook one guy and burst him down before everyone else. You're not going to... The problem is that they've got the Wukong here who can W the hook, and they've got the Galio here who can also just be tanking the hook. So I don't mind it. I can see what you're saying. I think you can also come together, but I think if you're trying to play for a pick as you're coming in and they're already on the dragon, you're not going to get a pick quick enough, especially with that Maokai ult, because you don't have any like CC to hit on that person. So here for me, his ult just buys so much time, and his positioning buys so much time, and he kills Lulu on the backside. It's just these guys that play, and Gideon being here is just like super awful. Yeah, try the link, because I've tried to whitelist twitch.tv, which I'm sort of hoping is all clips and stuff like that. That was my idea. Like it's okay to link a clip. But I don't know if it works. Because I don't want to have to put in your link to the whitelist, you know? So I'm hoping that because it has Twitch TV in it, it will let you link it. But maybe that's not how it works. I feel bad just messaging Jan every day being like, help, what do I do about this? Help, what do I do about this next thing? Help. Okay, so this time Nongshim are going to have position and the other way around. So now getting a pick is so much easier. When they're coming into you, getting a pick is big deal.
You know what the safety net is? It's the Maokai and the Maokai ult.
Yeah, and he wasn't there.
And he had used it. And he was doing the Drake. He wasn't even with the team.
Really, the ideal scenario for Nongshim is both Nongshim and DRX stand still and just shoot at each other from a distance. That favors Nongshim.
We can look at it again. What if Tristana went with Maokai? I don't really get the benefit of Maokai being here as opposed to with his team. That's the thing. Especially when he doesn't have ult. If he comes here and you're engaging and he's full HP and you have ult this way, maybe it's better. Even then, I'm not sure, because he's making the Rumble flank less of a flank by the way that he comes. Because now Rumble flank is not like Rumble here, team here. Now it's like Rumble, Maokai, team, and the Maokai's super squishy. And so it's easier to just engage on this side because there's only 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, only Teddy's low. Getting being a little bit rough, but... Big ult.
Maybe with... I think if Trist goes with Maokai here, then Blitzcrank has to be much further back. And you're actually kind of pushing through this side, which once again means that King's flank is much less of a flank. I still think it's better to just come together and just be a bit more simple with the whole thing. But he doesn't have Aftershock and he's half HP, so he's also quite squishy. I think already the fight is just hard.
Very nice
to
angle.
watch.
Does not have flash, and Rich is taking lots of damage, but guess who does even more damage? It's the Zeri, and it's the Wukong. Again, just press your buttons all at the same time in one direction, and you're gonna feel pretty good as DRX.
If you can, yeah, if you can link me the Twitch clip of the end of the draft, then we can talk about the draft as well. We could do it after this game.
Question is, how they feel strong enough to go for Atacam right now? I think that's the right call. Seems fast when he throws an objective. Oh. You know what the worst thing is, yes,
So because they're all off tempo, because they're having to like slow reset,
So this is what DRX want to do. Teddy obviously forced away and Handle left to sacrifice.
we don't see it, but Nongqing starts
Yeah, you just don't have the safety net for this backline. This is kind of
starts the
The
Atakan.
safety net is, it's the Maokai and the Maokai ult.
Yeah, and it wasn't there.
And he had used it, and he was doing the Drake. He wasn't even with the team.
Really, the ideal scenario for Nongshim is both Nongshim and DRX stand still and shoot at each other from a distance. That favors Nongshim. A Malkai ult is great for making it happen, but DRX don't seem to be happy with that scenario.
Lions want something, but again, there's not a lot of good targets. Could have definitely hooked Rich, but like why? As now, they're gonna start the icon. No vision here for the side of DRX.
So now it's so much harder. They're going to be able to get here
It's
probably
a bit too slow from
before.
DRX.
No, they're not even going to get here.
There's a smite, and now the Hens is going to hook air, but they have the Maokai ult engaged. They don't quite have a heal though, and has now stolen equalizer. They're trying to turn onto Yukal, but they're not quite.
Oof. So already, like I said, it's so much harder if
Lions want something, but again,
you have the position. Now the picks, like you're saying, that's going to be really hard
No vision here for the
because
side
now
of DRX.
anyone can be picked off by Blitzcrank and they can all just stay together and hook someone over. The Hens is there to just slow people down, but they're just way too slow to get there. And now you've got Atakan, and now you've been trapped in a situation where like you're too close to fight. You can't get to mid lane before this wave dies. So the Hens misses the hook, and the Wukong blocks the Maokai. Oh, they're trying to go onto the side onto Fisher, but he saves the buffer really nicely. Now these double AD carries, it just had so much time to be hitting and just stacking up lethal tempo. I think, I mean, you just lost position on this and it feels shit.
Something, but again, there's not a lot of good targets.
Okay, so you were faster on tempo, so you got to invade their side, and they contested the side, and so you just like pushed them really far out. And again, it's the same thing that we're seeing a bunch, where Atakan is not where Dragon is. If it's where Dragon is, you can rush all to mid lane, but it's not there, so you can't rush. You're too far away, and now you lose like Atakan, and you probably lose the game.
And you know, some pings for the blue team. They are beginning to. Yeah, it's a bit too slow from DRX. 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. There's a smite.
Yeah, Len's doing what he does best. Just be annoying. Just be like obnoxious to play against. He's getting Shen support bans in first rotation as well.
DRX completely fumble. Not only do they give too much space around that Atakan, almost like they forgot it was up, but here in this fight, you know, Yukal ends up taking the rumble, doesn't have a ton of value, but they just don't get on the backline. It is the main thing. Fisher jumps on Yukal, G was just free hitting constantly, the Wukong goes down without really achieving anything, just gets ult, and then this clustered mass, where G and Fisher just free hitting.
Yeah, so now both the backline is just free hitting. So if you're playing front to back kind of compositions, if you're the carries, what you want to be doing is hitting the highest priority target you can hit safely, and the you can hit safely part is very important. And if you're the front line, you just want to be buying time, and that's why the like flanks from Rumble are really nice, where it just buys time, where Lulu and Zeri couldn't be DPSing. But here, because of the way they fought, like both Tristan Jinx are just full lethal tempo, stacking up, hitting everyone, and they're just jumping and killing everyone because they've got Atakan rebuff as well. I mean, Atakan in pro play is wild. The Hens is the main reason why I'd like Yuma to actually pick again. Yeah, the Singer's fit. Okay, so that was a very quick end. Just really silly positioning around Atakan. Like, you just can't run to mid lane there. Again, the reason they do is because you can if it's Elder Dragon or something, because Elder Dragon is actually substantially closer, and there's also better pathways towards the Dragon from mid lane than there is towards the Atakan from mid lane. I'm going to quickly grab a drink to do this game. I don't know if it's the last game or not, but I'll be back in a second. Oh, yeah, I'll look at that. That's good. Hey, it worked. Okay, why was it so predictable? One moment, be right back. This is something as well, by the way, that we can. So when I'm doing these Q&As, kind of they're a little bit focused on Nord, but they don't have to be. Like it can just be like if you have any questions. So here, Ash has gone answers into Callista, and also the thing that you'll get with people who are like properly co-streaming, like I don't know these players well enough, but it could be that this is Light's answer into Callista. So if you're like co-streaming these games, by the time you get to this stage, like firstly you can see what's gone already. What else is gone? I can't see. Okay, right. Kai'Sa and Caitlyn are gone, and Corki and Zaya are gone. I don't think you would ever take and MF is gone as well. Yeah, so Varus, Callista are the last two like high-profile ADs left. And if you're leaving up Callista, it's almost always because you want Varus. So if there's been a Varus here, this would have been a Callista ban. Although it's weird that they ban Rumble and then they ban Galio. But still. Yeah, so I think it's just the amount of pool that's left, plus knowing the players a bit, but there's nothing else you can take into Callista. And so if you are letting someone have Callista, you always need to have like a specific answer, basically, because it's so strong. It's like if you give someone Skarner, you have to have something up against it.
Sometimes you'll get sad, Brendan.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe you have bad solo queue teammates, that's why you're upset.
Yeah, there's one guy I can think of.
But Ziggs move is really fun because you get the chaos, extra magic damage.
Yeah,
it's
true.
I love that. It's okay.
And you both press your R button.
Yes.
This is Shen again. Every game, Shen ban.
But yeah, we are getting the fearless, and as was mentioned, AD carries like the role of feel the pain.
I don't know if it was on hit Varus or ranged Varus, but it does okay into Callista. It loses early, everything does.
They might have to do some crazy like mages, and we all know AD carry players.
But it does okay into Callista. And I don't know what else they were trading there, but Callista is quite often like it's either picked or it goes the whole way through the draft as well, and that's because if you're a Callista player, it's almost always banned against you, and if you're not a Callista player, then they don't ban it and you don't pick it. I've forgotten who the AD carry was, but the other thing that you can do is say like, okay, this person's not that good at Callista, or this team is not that good at Callista. For example, like Rogue, Patrick is good at Callista, but I don't think you would be worried giving them Callista really, because they have to finish the game really early, and they can't. They've shown they can't over and over. So you can also have those kind of like mind games, and you say, right, we take Varus and we outscale, or you take the Callista and you're not good enough to finish. Much as likely in LPL, of course. So Sedge first pick, which also always means you have to think about these like solo lanes, melee solo lanes to pair with it, like Jax and stuff like that. Jax is gone, of course, but those kind of picks, Jax and Bessa are the top ones. So with that being gone, we'll see what else they go with. Okay, so as soon as you go for these, like they're double anti-dash champs, but the thing is that most melee champs that work well with Sejuani have dashes. So you have this question, I'm pretty sure they'll have asked like, okay, do we still go for like Camille and stuff? Or do we make our first pick less viable because we've pivoted from it, but we make their anti-dash less viable? But I quite like this from Nongshing to just be like, okay, fine, you know, let's see it.
There's so many champions. Yeah, mid's not feeling the fearless pain nearly as much. You can also have a really rough time in lane last game. So I feel like you want to lean on something that obviously with Monoconf is great, but also you have a good lane matchup.
Okay.
I think you have a good time in the 1v1 against Talia with that one.
Technically this is flex.
We don't know where Poppy's going. They have the mid secured. I think an AD carry pickup could be really good here.
Both of these can be flex, even though it's most likely mid. So much easier, like Nara is much safer as a pick. In mini Nara a little bit abusable. And now we're seeing like Lucian ban, which I think is much better because there's again more ADs gone. Because they're going to get first pick of AD. So both are going to ban. There's what, Caitlyn, Smolder. I mean, is that it? Ziggs and stuff? MF? Oh, and they get rid of MF too. Camille is just one of the last things that are really left that's really strong with the Sejuani. But blind Camille against Poppy and Talia already is hard.
I mean, the thing about Kalios is that it's good into a lot of shorter range champions, but also suffers against heavy dive.
Yeah.
But if it's only Camille,
oh my god, Woody would be so happy. Woody was calling for this. No. Yes. Woody was calling for this. He wanted to see the center.
You have to make Vlad happy. There it is.
Yeah, so it is going to be the center as well.
In My League of Legends.
Oh man,
Center Ornn. Okay, gives a lot of extra dive. Follow up with the Camille.
This feels pretty good. We'll see what Nongshim can run out of the
Quite like that. Like the way they finish this off.
Yeah, it is vibing. He's doing a dance. Unfortunately, that was also blocking our lens pick, so put it down really quick. I want to see more what did dancing. But what is he going to play? Rel is available. He'll play the Rel. That's not digging very deep into the support champion pool.
Camille's still very vulnerable to the swaps. I think if Poppy goes top lane, you for sure swap. For example, you swap this last second and it's on top. That would be terrible because it'd be triple. Yeah, the thing is that Poppy can really mess up the. Her ult isn't a dash, but the problem is that the E is not only a dash, but also it pulls you to a wall. So if Poppy is Eing you as you E, you'll always get stunned. You both just fly into the wall. And then the W is just so obnoxious against Camille. Like, Lulu's gone, right? But if Lulu was up, Camille by herself with this is not enough to kill Aphelios. Not by herself, you know, like Camille with the rest of this draft. But I think, I'm pretty sure, like I said, pretty sure what happens is they wanted to play something like this already. And then as soon as Nongshim say, okay, fine, like go for it then. They have that thing of like, okay, well, can we pivot? Do we take Sejuani, something other than that with Sejuani and make Sejuani not quite as good? Or do we just still go for it? Because you could take like the Gnar yourself or something like that, but Jax is gone, Renekton blind, I think is really rough there. Okay, so it is going to be the swap. Senna is always good to swap against. And like we say, while Camille is still a carry, she's better in swaps than some. Yeah, I think the Camille is very bold. Well, at least from what Lucas says, he's like, it's better to obviously have melee with Sedge, but it's not like you have to. It's not like you're forced into it. And I think as soon as they do that, you can just take. You can also play like range against this team. It's wild that Rel got the whole way through, by the way, to game 4, pick 5. The other thing you have with the Camille in the swap is that Camille's Senna can work. And Ornn can work on bot side.
There was a time for some of you, well, might have to hold that thought as Sponge. It's all about the face checking here today. And Sponge says, well, I can fight this, but the Gnar's coming in quicker. And he's quickly realizing that he can't fight that. He's trying to get away. There's a flash on in from Gideon, and he's got Orianna to the knock on the wall. The angle
nice angle.
It's fed right into the hands of Fisher, who is going to feel so good about that.
So he's lost his flash already.
It's so hard to set you against Poppy because to get away from it, ideally, you get over to a wall and you queue over it. But the second you get over to a wall, you're getting slammed into it. There's no easy way to escape from that. So good moves from Gideon so far, and it gives a kill over to Fisher, which I'm sure he's happy about.
Yeah, you saw Sponge, like he knew there was potential for that to be the case, for Sponge to rather Gideon to be in the brush, but he checks it, he gets a little bit too close, and he finds out very quickly that he is not going to have trial from bot either. So it's rough. It's definitely pretty rough for him. And you see until he TP'd up the top lane, and immediately Zeus is backing, and he's going bot with a TP from.
So already a good situation for Nongshim. Like Sponge is in a bit of a rough spot.
And here, it's only situation because the TP's coming in. He doesn't want to walk next to the wall, but like
he's trying so like he lines like that up really well.
He's dead. Tough situation to be in.
Yeah. Nothing he could do. The best thing he could have done is turn
Rail pick is what you get if you're adamant about banning Shen the entire series.
There's nothing in the LCK rules to say.
But it's just weird, like, Rel is normally much higher prio. Even in LCK, I've seen it a lot more. To be 4th game, 5th pick, Rel? That's,
There's no way I'm getting out of this. There's nothing I can do.
I think that Teddy, as well, by the way, is one of the players that should be very good on Senna. He has played through many metas that Senna has been a part of, and he really does excel on a pick that has very long range and can just kind of bully you.
The human nexus, you know, you'll eventually have the range of the fountain laser, so...
Yeah. Here comes the wall. Fisher looking to join on in. He used some of that gold, but
okay.
it's going to actually be lands that
I mean...
It makes his life really difficult. This one, once again,
Ooh,
very far behind
I was wondering why I didn't have my pen out. That's why I didn't jump back. So they push up through mid and they go towards Grubs, but enemy just gets a repush and all this extra time. Like, it's good that Teddy's there first as the support, but he's not there first enough. Like, by the time the Grubs spawn, it's still matched. And now Talia is always going to get there first because she has the ult. So she just hard shoves the wave with the Rel, and then is going to be there sooner. And it's been pushed away, and so they just can't be here. It looks really weird. Like, on this side, it looks like Rel is like riding the wall as well. Like, both people riding the wall. Because look, they ride the wall rides, and then he's instantly there.
comes in as well and makes his life really difficult. This one,
That would be pretty broken.
Punishing him for this early Sejuani pick. You know, they have a composition where you are not allowed to dash. It's illegal. You'll die. If you dash, you'll die. If you don't. And they are just punishing the Sejuani. Who's normally
Yeah, I mean, I think he can't. He's trying to play for that scuttle after he loses his flash sponge. But maybe it's just saying it in hindsight, like he can't play for that. He needs to run straight away when he sees it as well.
Yeah, Sejuani can be weird with, like, especially if she has her Q up, you just like flash and Q away, and it's like, whoa, whoa, she got a lot of distance from that.
Yeah, I think his flash was still down there.
Well, in that case,
That's the
don't flash.
So,
Wanted an assist.
You got it.
2 grubbies, 2 kills, crashing a big wave in
For
bot.
some of you newer League watchers, there was a time, especially there wasn't Fearless before this year consistently, where you used to see Felios like every single game.
Yep.
Right? And I think he came in when that was still a meta, like towards the tail end of it.
Yeah.
And he used to just dominate metas, and Horn used to be one of the things that was picked relatively often into.
Fish is just face checking, but Sejuani's really far behind. Now the knockaway. Yeah. He's got the perfect guns for that dive as well.
I think Rich kind of could have done more, if I'm going to be honest. You could flash the poppy stun, and I think you could maybe get a chain kill. Like, you had backup coming through.
Oh, that's a big rock. And the ult coming in. He picks up the kill on Rich, and there's nothing that Sponge or Teddy can do except watch.
How is no flash Orianna getting punted into the tower? What? That's a tough one.
Wondering what went wrong.
Like, not even a controversial statement, just an absolute fact. Yukal has been the MVP for DRX so far in the LCK Cup, but he has not shown up massively in this series, and that is a big flop. You're getting solo killed by Atalia there. Fisher stepping up massively for Nongshim.
Yeah, Fisher was one of the guys at the beginning of LCK Cup that went, what, like 1-7? He was like 0-7 at one point on Victor.
Yeah.
And then he had like a great play at the end. I think they won that game actually. His play here for Rich, yeah, you could actually.
I think he got flipped by the hands.
Really? Oh.
So I think he didn't have a chance to. So, my bad. I criticized him. Another chance.
What is that? Like he's literally just hinting.
What is this? What is he doing? Yeah. He's questioning it big time. That's putting it lightly. So, Fisher more surprised than anyone else that he was able to pick up that kill.
So the kill mentioned that I think Lehens got the remount flip, or I'm not sure what it was, specifically that CC didn't.
It would have had to be like perfect timing, right? For the flip to actually come through, because in the frames right after you Camille ult, you could probably flash away, but maybe Lehens was just that clean with it. And we might get number 2, and here it does come through. That's the flip on in, and Rich, he just doesn't even bother.
Yeah, and this is the problem.
Try to flash, but auto attack's already in the air, so decides to die instead. And it's just been this roaming death squad.
Camille is still vulnerable.
They set Sponge behind, and now Gideon is just running the game on this Poppy.
Little ult on in as well, gotta get the root down. Now Sejuani is here, Sponge looking to turn this one.
Oof, Gideon.
TP now, double TP from the side of DRX.
They have to get so many kills here because they just... Oh, okay. They don't even get an advantage of kills. The Talia is just so strong in this game.
They set Sponge behind, and now Gideon is just running the game on this Poppy.
So they go really aggressive, lovely double knock up, and they're already double TPing. So it's sending people here and double TPing, and they still lose in terms of kills. So that's like you're putting all your resources into this play, and you still are behind on it. And now like Camille is behind and has 2 people who she can't dash at. Yeah, exactly. Fisher was just like, what's he doing? What's he doing? I think they translated what he was saying. That's a perfect poppy ult. I mean, this is just like... This game is just a disaster. And now, like, nothing in the draft matters. I do think the draft is a little bit wonky, but there's actually nowhere to really tell. Because it's just so one-sided.
That's the kind of tandem duo where they can really serve these plays. But right now, they're just doing such a fantastic job of securing kills on the map, translating them into objectives. 7-1 the kill score, 3,700 goal lead, 3-14 minutes. It is looking rough for DRX.
Yeah. I mean, it's just desperation trying to fight for grubs when you're already in a rough spot. Sponge doesn't have a completed item, and they don't have any position control in the river either. He's just kind of running at the grub saying, okay, I'm going to go for it. And he just gets punished instead. Okay, well, at least it wasn't 3-0, but after the last couple of games, I was hoping for more of a fight in the end.
Yeah, and Yukal obviously not doing too hard. Going to be a slower spike on the Arcane. Will take a while to come online. It's a center as well.
So we will watch the rest of this game. I'm not going to do any more, so that'll be it. But if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. But I think this game is, yeah, you've got 5 grubs. Your Camille is a level, like, nearly 2 levels down, or 11.5 down. They've got the feats already.
It really is. I mean, he can give you a distance. He can control waves very well.
No, just one full level up.
Like, even if you get on him, he can be a huge threat.
Because King is about to hit 11 now. There you go.
Auto attack you. He's actually going to be able to red-white gun you down.
Got a level up in mid.
You have to be very crisp in how you deal with you.
You got 3 levels up on AD, I guess. Well, 1.
He has really turned it around.
Oh, Sponge steals it. That's something at least. Blue got scared.
He did
It's
get
10 and 10.
Yes.
And now, like, the Ornn just needs to group up and try and do something. But
Not much bigger, you know.
because of all the lane swaps, it's ended up being more like Senna and Camille.
Just have the backup. I feel like a lot of this game is going to be DRX trying to stay the aggression from Longchamp.
If you're the coach of the losing
Generally, they do.
team and there were more games in the series, how would you approach getting the players back on track?
Carroll is not being started.
If you're losing like this?
And as we know, DRX aren't even really trying to go for it. As Sponge pounces
I
on the
think-
side of his jungle and Teddy goes for a back.
In a way, like if you lose a game like this, it's actually sometimes easier to get people to like sort of shake it off. These games, like, we just don't draw anything from them. Like, it fell so far apart so quickly that it's just about a kind of mental reset.
He will just permanently have pressure. You know, we have this
But it does depend on what you want and what you know going into the series. So a really big thing for me that I think enough coaches do in esports is really properly, like, consciously think about messaging. So by messaging, I mean like the messages you want the team to get. And I'm not saying what you say, because people do think about that, but like the overall of what you say and that kind of thing. And that's where it's been quite wonky. And there's been teams who even in their own videos are like saying really weird things if you look at like the overall of what they're saying. So if you're really nervous as a coach, if you're constantly like asking them questions about what the enemy team can do, nervous, I guess maybe you could just say is bad. So I'll rephrase that. If you're constantly asking your team like, okay, watch out for them doing this, watch out for them doing that, watch out for them doing this, watch out for them overloading on mid lane, watch out for the fact that they really love to team fight, they're always going to look for team fighting. The message you're giving the players like in overall is that we need to be careful. So you can't then do that and say, and I want you to be confident. That's like the opposite of what we've been telling them the whole time. So it really depends for me what your messaging was going into the day, which is going to be based on the players, based on the competition, based on like the kind of things you've been saying, the themes, if you've articulated a theme, the stuff that you're going for. If you're embracing being the underdog and all this kind of thing, then you can do it in a certain way. But for me, these games where you just get absolutely smashed are almost the easiest ones to just like, we all know it's a snowbally game. Like let's just kind of mentally reset, and that can be through a cool like through like talking, but it also can be the opposite. It can be like, for example, for one of our mental resets, I said this actually on the podcast recently. In game 4, after game 4, we were 2-0 up. We thought we were a much better team, and then it went to 2-2. And before game 5, we just went outside and meditated. 15-minute break, we just meditated for 10 minutes. And I went off and did the draft while they were still doing that. Or no, the other coach, went off and did the draft. And we just, because the whole point was like, okay, we just need to completely forget about the last game. Snowballed way out of control. We go back to our baseline and we'll be fine. So it's kind of hard to answer, but it's a great question. And there's a lot that goes into it. So for me, if there was more games in this series, the main thing that you're trying to do as a coach is to just fuck this game. Like everything went wrong within like 5 minutes. The game was almost impossible to play, and maybe we tried something a bit weird in the draft without taking with firstly forcing the Camille, but then also without taking an AD carry on 2-3, because you could have just taken an AD there, and then you take Camille and AD, and I think you'd be more aggressive in the first 3, and it means that they can either counter the Camille or they can counter your AD. And if they don't counter your AD, you pinch it even more, and it's really hard. And if they don't counter your Camille, then you get to at least get rid of the Lenar and stuff. And I don't think Ori is like your best only pick. There's loads of stuff in mid lane still. But how you would get there, that's unfortunately, it just depends on the team. Okay. So they do get a big shutdown. How do they do this? Because I completely lost track. So another person dies. They just overextend on mid lane. Yeah, Nar's not there, and they have so much now with a lot of follow up. So I like the Ornn, like having Ornn as well.
and Nongshim only used Poppy's ultimate, so I don't think they're in a position to fight this next. Oh no, oh no.
Well, this is pretty rough as they're going in on Spuds, getting pretty low though, as not quite able to lock him down. Here comes Ondil and Teddy taking a bit of damage themselves. Will anybody die in this fight is really the main question. Spuds got extremely low. Yukal finally got on over with his TP.
Okay, Cobalt in, low health bars. That might actually work out okay for DRX. No, I think King is confident enough to start with the dragon. I was gonna say maybe they got him low enough. Go team to reset and they'll be able to protect the dragon, but apparently not. Still though, this is a good play. Ultimately, they managed to shut down this Felius and actually got the kill.
It was rich.
Oh nice, beautiful then. Yeah, great knock up there, Mandel.
Yeah, so the knock-up comes through. The fact that he doesn't flash that knock-up is a little bit of a tragedy. But they look like they were going for someone else, I guess.
And we can see this game turning around. They got shut down for Jiwoo. There's still a shut down for Fisher.
Anything happen in this project that you didn't expect when you started? I don't really know. I didn't really know what to expect when we started, so it's kind of a hard question to answer. I've said many times I didn't expect Freddy to be as good and as fun to be around. Like, I knew he would be fun to be around because he's a streamer, but like his attitude is like perfect, which I love. All the players that we've got, I'm fans of, so it's nice. And I knew that I would like working with them. Like when I found out from Victor what the roster was, then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Like I'm interested. So I didn't expect how much I would like doing the streaming. That's the thing that I've said multiple times, and I didn't expect how much I'd like doing Fearless as well. Like scrims are much more fun, and I think it's partly Fearless, it's partly the team environment that we have, and it's partly the stream. It is a bit weird doing the stream in a way, because when I'm watching the game for scrims, a lot of times I probably would just rewatch it more, like rewatch the same clip more and more and more, and I don't because I want to show you guys like at least roughly what's going on. But I wouldn't do it all that much. And I do the reviews a bit differently from everyone anyway. I was talking to one of the players the other day who was saying like, and because of the stream, we haven't been able to do like normal reviews. And I probably wouldn't do them like quote unquote normal, which is you would just kind of go through everything. But maybe there's certain situations where it's useful to do, but we've been quite light on the reviews, and I don't mind that. I think they learn more from playing together and the small discussions we have and the goals than they do from like the reviews that we do, to be honest. Not that they don't learn anything from reviews, but you just don't need to be too precious with them.
You know, it's not looking so hot. Black Leader completed Teddy going towards the rapid fire, still a long way away. Jiwoo now has the Infinity Edge. Scary stuff. We got the Deadman plate from Gideon. This is the, like, you have the empowered Sundered Skyward.
Out of interest, do you do coaching sessions for players too? As in like solo queue? I do some, yeah. I don't do that much because, to be quite honest, I think that there are people who do it better. But I'm happy to do some. The main thing that I do that's like individual stuff that I think I'm very happy with, like the thing that I provide, is I coach coaches and have for the last couple of years. So I'm not actually doing any of that at the moment. I was going to do it with someone in the LEC, but we haven't started that yet, just on the side. But yeah, I do a bit. I think I would prefer to like coach a low-level Clash team than to coach someone in solo queue. Again, I can and have done in the past, but the thing that I always think is like, there are people who specialized in just this. So I always kind of, not that I feel bad about it, and the feedback has always been really nice, but I still think like the things that I would do would be, I think there are people who do it better, basically. Not just people who do it better and are really expensive, but people who do it better and aren't really expensive. But if anyone wants me to coach their Clash team or something, we can definitely sort it out. But they just saw the announcement that Clash is only once every other month. Tragedy. Okay, so they just have push in both sides. They have the perfect guns for it, red, white. You just stack up, or then even more perfect, green, white. Fella's just one-shots this. Look how many... if he keeps the chakrams as well. He's got so... He's just going to one-shot anybody here. Wait, let me watch that again.
But the damage, look at this.
It's gone.
Yeah. It's just way too much damage from Aphelios. Remember that he can just do this.
So they do almost kill Kingen, but here he keeps his stacks up with the Q. Now he just has so many. He still hasn't even ulted. He flash forward, ult, double people. He has so many chakrams. If he ults anyone once. Oh my god. That is an absolute 200 years moment. What a tragedy.
He's got like a whole squad.
Everyone just has to run. Like, anyone gets touched by Felios, they melt when he has that many chakrams. I'm asking because I joined recently Curtis and Nathan Alloy coaching program, but I think that 1 hour of coaching live is just so much more efficient. Yeah, I think the thing is about like doing coaching live and stuff like that is that while you can get some great things from videos and stuff like that, I always tell people if you want to climb, skill cap videos are actually just really good. They're really well produced and they're just got really good information. So there are coaches who kind of make it seem like, oh, you know, like us in the professional game will understand such a deeper level, and it's like, it's just nonsense, guys. Like, I think there's plenty of things you can pick up. I've shown pro players stuff from like skill caps and things like that a lot, and mostly I show it to them saying like, what do you think about this? And I watch them thinking like I disagree with them a lot, but that's fine. There's still loads that I learned from that, especially like all the little shorts I think are really, really good. Like I saw one the other day, which I actually haven't messaged Eric about, but taking 3 points in Leona when you're against Alistar or Poppy, or 3 points E on Leona against Alistar or Poppy or Janna, because at 1 point the cooldowns match up, but at 3 points the Leona E cooldown goes down really like a lot, whereas their disengage won't. So like the Alistar W, it's still, so they can't like just knock you away every time, and so you just bait the thing and then go again. Like all those kind of things. Like there's so much useful information online, but when you're working with someone individually, hopefully it's not just like analysis of your play and telling you this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Hopefully it actually gives you some stuff to do and gives you some like direction, and that's the part where like an individual session can be really good. So I have explored doing stuff with like either group classes or recorded content and things like that. But I think as soon as you're doing recorded content, you have to be so good to be better than what's already out there. And I don't think most people are. And so the individual stuff is useful if you start doing like the coaching side of it rather than the analysis side of it. It's something I talked about a lot. Like we a lot of times in esports just get caught up doing analysis and not doing coaching. Like, okay, here's the thing that's wrong. Here's the thing that's wrong. Those kind of stuff. And instead of like not even telling you what you should do, but how do you work out, how do you give someone the tools so that the next time they do the right thing? Because you're never going to have the exact same situation again. So it's hard. It's quite fun, but it's hard. And at the moment, I don't have enough time to do it like sort of properly and get really good at it. And like I say, I think I'm not really someone who likes doing things that I'm not that good at. I like learning things, but I don't want to sell something that I'm not very good at. John coaches coaches, so coaches coach player. Yeah, exactly. I can coach a coach to coach you better so that you can then get coached by a coach that I'm coaching. Simple. But when many champs, I sometimes find it hard to play the play style the champ wants to be played in. And those videos are just accessed by paying. Yeah, I mean, I have checked out their whole library and stuff. I don't know if I would suggest paying for it. I do think it's a good thing to look into. But then John goes on the couch. I can coach the other coach on the couch while he's coaching you. I completely forgot what I was going to say. That was a serious point. Yeah, if you have I would suggest picking a champion based on the playstyle that champion wants. So if you enjoy a champion, it's probably because you enjoy their playstyle. Don't pick something just because you think it's better, or it's got a higher win rate, or it's more picked, or anything like that. Just find stuff that you like. That's the best way to find like a main. Like if you really want to climb and you care about nothing else, find a champion to main, find a champion to one trick. It's so useful because there's so many things to learn. You really don't want to be thinking about the stuff that is like for the champion. And that's where, you can say, right, why aren't these pro players able to play like 100 different champions? Why do a lot of people struggle in Fearless when they have to get to like game 4 and game 5? Because they play the game all the time. How can they not play all the champs? And it's like, well, it's about playing it on stage while you also have to deal with the fact that the enemy team is super well coordinated to play against you, and you're also dealing with like there's so much information going on that you don't want to be in a situation where you're thinking about like how long is my W cooldown, or like how much mana does it cost, and all those kind of things. Again, actually, really good skill cap short on this about I think it was short. Might even be a full video on their YouTube about just stuff that we talked about a lot on the stream, but like not overloading your mental stack so you can actually be thinking about other stuff. Right now, Syndra and Ari both play differently, but still much impact. Yeah, I think having like 2 or 3 champions that can fill slightly different niches that you like is great, but it's better to just make sure you can do each one. Wondering, how do you manage team expectations and it's different depending on their skill? Yeah, definitely. For me, what I would like to do in an ideal situation, you're never really in an ideal situation in coaching, but especially this split when we started so late, I would like to get everyone together early on. And what I would want to do with them is, well, part of it would be to define, I like Lars Rubbel's structure. So define a dream, but basically work out what the goal is. Like, what are we trying to achieve together? The 2 things are like why, not just what are we trying to achieve, but why. Okay. So this team, for example, it's actually interesting and hard to say. Like, some of them probably want to go back to the LEC, some of them probably don't. I mean, I don't think Lucas wants to, even if he got offers, because the whole point is he wants to spend more time doing other stuff and doesn't want to live in a place that he doesn't live and stuff like that. He wants to like live life. So what is the dream with the team? I think that's really useful. And then making sure that the goal is like basically just out of reach. It has to be ambitious, but it can't be like, it has to be like reachable, but very difficult to kind of keep us pushing forward. Like PoE pretty much only plays control mages, sometimes ADT like champions. Yeah, exactly. Have you seen the quadruple dive from JDG yesterday? It was so massively well played. No, I haven't. But it seemed like the Twitch clip was working. So actually, do you want to just tell me what game it was in? And I'll get it up. Weibo JDG. Game 3. It's game 2. It's game 3. Was it early on? Like in the swaps?
Also means that they were either focusing that as a top lane ban, or maybe that this Pantheon could be flexed a bit as the Scion gets locked in for JDG.
Yeah, this Corki Pantheon pairing can be very dangerous, especially on a level 2 spike. Even just level 1, the amount of damage that Corki has with Gatling gun, that shred is going to be very good.
Lots for Tones stream so often, I thought they also wanted to step it down a little.
Braum, melee matchup deals pretty well. I think Braum might feel a little strange.
Dive and bot side minute 2. Yeah, they're doing it quite differently from us. Like they want to be like a full-time team. We're not really a full-time team.
If they lane swap here, then Weibo just want to lose game 3. Go for it.
We are going to be back in the homeland of bot lane normalcy, even though it is an eco bot. You know, that's a little bit more normal than maybe some of the solo queue bot lane.
Maokai. Like they were diving a Maokai. Let me see if we can find it. Here's Maokai.
Right, like the only person
for both of these teams, like you were saying, not necessarily elimination, but the last series will be playing here in the group stage. And
Game 4.
you wonder what that means in terms of like
Yeah, so now Maokai's coming back.
I mean, we could see some more reservation through the fact that move from JDG.
Follow up on team expectations questions. How do you decide what's reasonable goal in the beginning of the year? If you have to know the scene, but everyone has to come together, talk about it, and agree. But if you, so like, if I have no idea how good the players I've got are and how good the league I've got is in, then the goal can't come from me. Or making sure it's competitive enough can't come from me.
She's just looking to all in with her distortion, make sure that's hitting the wave at the same time. Also, the change to Q a long time ago did make the one a little easier being able to farm in mid wave.
Why didn't at the beginning of time, which was the beginning of League of Legends?
Yes.
Why
Is this the game? So we've got Lee Sin, who can jump in and out of the tower, which is really nice. They push away Yang, which is really, really important. So the fact that he's too slow here on this wave. He's trying to get level 2 in mid and then come to bot lane, but he ends up not being level 2 and also coming to bot lane late. So he has to like be here already with this wave, or he has to be level 2, and he's neither.
don't think I do.
So he gets just zoned away.
Is gonna be my question is, they get some damage, but they're just wasting a lot of time. I like what Light's doing on the top side, actually. He's not pushing the wave immediately. Trying to stack it, hits more damage onto the turret.
All right, they gotta execute this one. There is no response from Weibo. They get the kill here. Nice flash early,
that'll
but good
do,
combo. The turret is
Very
not
nice
even focused.
combo.
It's really nicely juggled by Ala, and they want more.
And they fully wait for the tower to reset, which a lot of people don't.
They need Hun. They got
Okay.
Hun, and
Then they get another
It's a
one.
circus at this point. Breeze is here now. Xiaohu is here. Maybe it is a circus after all.
No
Xiaohu
way.
is out tanking the turret.
Okay.
Taking them out.
Some people die.
Bodies falling to the floor, but JDG still looking for
No
more.
way.
Yet again, I thought-
Okay. Let's watch this in normal.
Can Reed outplay is gonna be my question is,
Okay, so like I said, Hang is a little bit too slow.
I like what Light's doing in the
He's not. He needs to be in on that wave that already crashed in, or he needs to be level 2, and he's neither.
All right, they gotta execute this one. There is no response.
Then the dive comes in.
Both, they can get the kill here.
They
Nice
hit the
flash.
E, so they get the nice stun.
The turret is not even focusing them really.
Now they
nicely
wait
juggled by Ala.
enough time. It's 5 seconds, remember, not 3. So you have to wait for like 3 or 4 autos of the tower before you dive again.
Play on bot side.
Now the flip comes through, but they dive
They
again.
need Hun.
Double
They
teleport
got
comes
Hun,
in, is it?
and they
From
juggled
Xiaohu
it
and
again.
Breathe?
I thought we were
No,
at a circus
just
at
Breathe
this
and
point.
Xiaohu's coming
Breathe is
down.
here now. Xiaohu is here. Maybe it is a circus.
Scout has
after all.
come
Sin's trying to
down.
get away. Scout's tanking the turret. And Xiaohu comes in and takes them out.
And now they get another one, and now they're going to wait the tower again.
But JDG still looking for
They're gonna go
more.
for it
And
again.
nah, that is absolutely mental.
And JDG, it's 4.
That's a quick FM go next.
This game.
Someone caught him
You get
with
4
right
kills
now.
in 4 different dives. I should show the team that actually. That's really nice. That's an interesting one. Okay, just answer the last few questions because I'm gonna stop at 1, I think. What do you think about Flex Lee mid as an AD option? I think it's hard to make that kind of thing work. I think you have to be very, very good at it and very, very good at weird stuff. So I think for us, probably it's going to be less likely. Could be something to think about for future splits. We still don't know at this stage if future splits is going to be fearless or not. If it's not fearless, I wouldn't even consider it. But if it's going to stay being fearless, I think it's something to look into because we've got a bunch of AD mids already. So it's if you need an AD mid in game 4, that's where it could start getting different. Yeah, I mean, the E doesn't reveal anymore, right? It's just the Q or not? Neither. I can't remember how that interaction works. They keep updating it and you don't see it all that much just because Lee's not been meta for a while. And when he was, Akali wasn't. But I like Lee mid in general, like as a in theory. I think you get 2 points in Q and you get Tiamat and you can just like one-shot the wave. Sorry, in E, and then in Tiamat, and then you can just like one-shot the wave. And you can still max Q, but you kill the wave very instantly. Not quite instantly, like E, Tiamat, auto, and the wave dies. So any mid laner who can clear the wave fast is always going to be good. Obviously, it's not quite as good as if you could clear it from range, but always going to be like kind of viable, and that roaming is big. But here, for example, Ryze is already in bot lane because this is what you used to do. That Ryze used to be so much stronger before the minion speed changes. So pre 14 minutes, now the side lane minions go faster than the mid lane. So when they all went the same speed, because mid lane is shorter, what you used to do every single game is you would just like push up mid lane and then come to bot. So you would just push up mid, come to bot, push up mid, come to bot. Every level 3, and because you could crash the third wave here and then be on time for the third wave here, people like Ryze who could just insta-shove the first waves are insanely good. But here they do it anyway. So this wave is crashing in mid at the same time, and Ryze is coming across. But he's still going in case they're going to like redive. Oh wait, sorry. So what I was saying was Ryze is going to push up mid and then come this way. And he's coming anyway. This is the same wave that's crashing in mid is the one that's crashing in bot. And he's still coming anyway. And at this point, he could go back to mid to get the next prio, but they already know they're going to redive. They're always just going to like redive.
man play on bot side. A TP coming in for Weibo.
So then they get this one,
They got hung,
and then next
Joe,
one,
yet
and then
again,
next one,
I
and then
thought
next
we were
one.
at a circus at this point. Breathe is here now. Xiaohu is here. Maybe it is a circus after all. Should try to get away. Scouts tanking the turret.
So Xiaohu dies and Ale dies, but there's still enough to just redive, and they reset the tower again, and they've got 2 plates as well. So they lose loads on the top side, but Ale's going to TP to it, I guess, as well. Yeah, so that's a tragedy. Thanks for sharing that. That's really fun. Cool. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it there. Thanks very much for coming. I'm starting to get into a bit more of a routine with this. So still, every single day, 11 o'clock until about 1 o'clock, I'm going to be doing these reviews. And they'll be on YouTube as well. If you want to see the VOD, it's probably better to have the VOD on YouTube because the Twitch one disappears. They are on Twitch as well, but you can find them on YouTube too. So tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'll do. I'll pick another series, but when we get to the weekend, I'll also do the LEC games and stuff like that too. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you tomorrow. Next scrims are tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow I'll do this in the morning, 11 to 1, and then I think probably 2:45 will be scrims, but I'm not exactly sure. They've not been booked because we did have a strong opponent who we'd convinced to stream, and then they changed their mind. So we can't stream it, so we might have to pick someone else.